Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Xoxo, this is Xoxo Tarot, and in today's reading we are doing something I'm really excited to explore, where we are looking at what is the potential of the romantic connection between you and the person you're asking about, or maybe multiple people. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to start by looking at the person you're asking about, what their energy is towards you and your connection, and what their intentions are towards you in this connection. It's going to be very important when you're picking your group that you have your person in mind. You could be thinking their name, saying their name. You could even ask them in your mind, what group would you choose? If that'll be helpful. And if you're asking about more than one person, it's definitely important that you do that one at a time so that things don't get confusing. But after we look at that, we're going to look at the potential that the connection has between you and them at this time. So this is timeless. When I say at this time, I mean the time you're watching, not the time that I upload. And then after that, speaking of time, it's tarot time. And I'm basically just going to be elaborating on what we've looked at and just giving you the best answers possible to set you up for success. One of the things I know I'll probably be doing in each group is, how do you know this reading is for you? Just because I'm not looking at who the person is, I'm looking at their energy. So I just want to give you guys reassurance for those of you who have a hard time trusting your intuition. Probably going to look at things as well as, how do you reach this potential, and just leave it open. I figured there might be unique questions in each group that we need to ask. So leaving it up to me, it's my choice. Xoxo knows best. Sometimes. In this case, yes. And then we're going to finish off with just guidance for you moving forward, what the universe wants you to know, love guidance for you to just help you have the best intentions possible, the best attitude possible, and stay in alignment. Then we're moving on to the extended on Vimeo. And I'm really excited for this one because we're going to be looking at what's next for you both, but more specifically, what next cycle are you entering together on your journey of love? So we're going to start by looking at overall what this next cycle is about for you. So what's next in general, and what that's going to be looking like on Earth. So for example, let's say the theme is action. So there's a lot going on. And that's going to be like the theme of the cycle, like just action taken between the two of you. But then the rest of the extended is going to be focusing on what the deeper purpose that's of what's happening between the two of you. Let me just get into it. So after we look at what's next for you overall and the cycle it's initiating between the two of you, we're going to look at how you and them will be showing up in this connection. So this is going to be an extended where we explore both your energy and their energy to give you just the best understanding possible. So we're going to see how you're going to be showing up in this connection at this time. Sorry, I'm burping. And then we're going to see how they're going to be showing up in this connection at this time. Obviously, we won't be looking at everything, but the overall energy is that they'll be coming to the connection club with. Then we are going to look at what this cycle is essentially going to be teaching you both, but it's less about teaching and more about how you're going to be leveling up in love and connection with each other. So whatever this cycle and the energies you're showing up in, this is going to then connect to what you're learning about love and each other at this time, how you're showing up, and just what you're meant to integrate at this time to just stay in alignment with the connection and each other. And then we're going to look at where you and your person are meant to end up at this, through this cycle, and what the purpose of this cycle is. So what is the purpose of this next phase of time? Where are you ending up? And this is also kind of like a point of completion where you'll know, like, okay, this covered all the time necessary. And it also should be really helpful for the both of you, especially if you show your person this reading. It should be helpful in terms of, like, if you're confused in the future and not really sure what's going on, you can go back and look at the lesson portion or the level up portion and ask yourself, okay, am I integrating this? How are the semantics of my life teaching me this? So we're basically just doing a deep dive into what's next for the both of you and just how you can navigate it with the most ease and be able to anticipate what's going to be coming up for you. So I'm really excited for this extended, and thank you to everyone who's been checking out the extendeds. We have so much fun over there, so if you've never checked one out, definitely do so. I do my best to make them as affordable as possible so as many people can access them as possible. And yeah, I'm much more vulgar over there and much more chaotic, and you are likely to get more unhinged rants from me over there. So definitely check them out if you haven't. And thank you to everyone who hypes them up. You guys are the best, and I love you. So with that being said, we have 4 different groups for you to choose from today, and I have already shuffled the cards that are going into the energies and intentions, and also the potentials. So you can pick based on the stack of cards you're drawn to, the stone, whatever works for you. But for the first group, we have the first stack of cards and this yellow calcite sunflower on top. And then for group number 2, we have the second stack of cards and this Charoite moon on top. And then for group number 3, we have the third stack of cards, and I have this Angelite angel on top. And then finally for group number 4, we have this Obsidian Snoopy on top and the fourth stack of cards. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. Like I said, feel free to pick more than one if you need to do a process of elimination. It's really important you guys trust your intuition on this one. And try not to overthink. If you're really overthinking things, maybe take a step back, do some breathing, and try to center yourself before you choose. And like I said, you can even call out to the person you're asking about, to higher self, and say, you know, what group should I choose? Really, really trust yourself on this one. You know, if what I'm talking about just doesn't sound right, just doesn't sound like this person and what's going on, please trust that and honor that, because it's likely not the group for you. But also, if it sounds right, if it sounds exactly like what you felt, trust that and trust what your intuition is telling you. And speaking of that, we're gonna go ahead and do our little make a wish portion intro. Shout out to my intro squad. And intro squad, I want to know, what is a sign you've been seeing a lot lately? Is it a flower? Is it a number? What sign has been following you? I would love to know. And I figured today would be a great day to make a wish on my high priestess candle, because I'm gonna need y'all to trust your inner high priestess and your intuition today. Well, I always need you guys to do that, but sometimes it grinds my gears a little bit that you guys don't trust yourselves as much as you should, because you guys are way more intuitive and way more powerful than you realize, and you need to let your minds, your brains, like, simmer down a little bit, because you guys can trust yourselves more than you think you can. But if you're unaware, all of my candles and all candles on Angelic Magic 888 site, you can get them for 10% off using code ASO10. And each one of my tarot candles comes with a mini tarot card inside, so that is what we are going to use for our mini reading today. So let's go ahead and look. Bitch. Yes. Okay. Love to see it. I almost used the star candle, so this is actually really helpful, and I'm gonna take this off for a second while we make our wish. So if you want to pause the video and just kind of focus on the candle, focus on what you want to wish for, I am going to do the same. May yours, mine, and all of our wishes come true. Thank you for making a wish with me. This is a great, beautiful candle, just like you. You're great and beautiful. Okay, the star. Things are going to be looking up for you, baby. This is a time of healing. This is a time of hope. And this is a time of leveling up into the next phase of you. Get excited for the future. Get excited for what is yet to come, because things are getting better, things are getting lighter. There is no more positive card in the deck. No matter what has transpired, no matter what has gone down, things are getting better, things are getting brighter. And if you asked about something specifically or had a specific circumstance in mind, whether it was related to this reading or not, that you were curious about, the star is the answer to that question. I feel like things are getting better. And I also feel like for some of you specifically, if there are things related to technology or to some sort of like illness that someone's battling. It does seem like there is some healing around that. I obviously do want to be careful because this is a general reading and I don't know everyone's situation, but I would just definitely say focus on healing vibes, focus on seeing the positive, seeing the good, and seeing the light, because it seems like a lot of light is coming to you. And I think just having that perspective will just help bring it to you more closely. This is definitely a time where things are getting lighter, things are getting easier, you're getting more clarity. And also, I think that things are working out in your favor even when you expect them not to. And so I think that actually one of the best things you can do for yourself is keep your mentality in check, because things are going to be better than you realize. And this next phase of your life is a lot about healing. Things are getting brighter, and so are you. Don't be afraid to stand out. Don't be afraid to shine. And don't be afraid to take a little risk now and then. Obviously, a calculated one. Let's not do something crazy and stupid, but unless you feel utterly called to. But overall, this is just a time of beautiful. I also just heard reunion. So for some of you, you could be reuniting with someone you care about. You could be you could also be traveling, but also you could be having visions of your future that almost seem too good to be true. And I feel like the universe is saying they're not. We're feeding these to you to help you keep going and take action. Don't fall in love with those so much that you stop moving in the present, because we're doing that. It's kind of like, you know how some people use like a carrot or something to lure an animal? It's like that, but you know, in a less demeaning way. You're a star, baby, and it's time you see that and you believe that. And I also think whatever you're trying to manifest and create, act as if you already have it. Feel what it's like to have it and trust that it's coming. Don't even think, oh, I hope she's right, oh, I hope this happens. Affirm that it will. Grab life by the balls and say, yeah, this is happening. Universe, how are you going to bring it to me, and what do I need to do to show you I'm ready? The answers will come to you. It's written in the stars. Whatever you've been asking about, whatever you've been thinking about, it's coming to you, and healing is coming to you. Things are getting lighter and things are getting better. And if that's just what you've wanted, like, when will things get better? Soon. And they can start by just you saying, they're getting better now. They are better now. They're better than they were 3 seconds ago. They're better than they were 5 minutes ago. And don't even think about it in terms of hope. Think about it in terms of it's already better, and it's just going to continue to get better. Things are going to be looking up, and if there is a situation that has really needed healing, that is definitely coming. So I love to see that. I love to see that for you. No better card in the deck, so just know if you were drawn to this video and drawn to the mini message, there is hope, healing. Well, I just said, you know, think less about hope and think more about it's already here. What you want is already here. You are being blessed by the stars. And there might be a specific constellation that's significant. I feel like that's a message specifically only for some of you. But if you have a favorite constellation, I would like to know. Mine is Aries. Or a favorite star. Mine's Arcturus. Okay, so with that being said, go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It is absolutely okay, like I said, to be drawn to more than one, especially if you're asking about more than one person. There's nothing wrong with that. But once you picked your group or groups, they will be linked down below in the comment section and the description box, as well as the links to the extended. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to get into these messages, and I look forward to seeing you in your reading. Hi there, pile one. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the yellow calcite sunflower and the stack of cards that I pre-shuffled for you, too used to having a tarot deck here, this is going to be a reading on what the potential of the connection is between you and the person you're asking about. If you'd like a breakdown of the reading, there is one in the intro. So we're going to start by laying out these 4 cards, which are going to represent what the energy and the intentions of the person on your mind are towards you and the connection. So to start, we have Bastet with health. We have Dare. We have hope, and we have the end, which is technically the death card. Well, technically it is the death card. I guess technically, I don't know. Technicalities. Something about technicalities here that's significant. And these 4 cards represent the potential of the connection at this time. So we have Know Your Worth. We have Fresh Start. We have the King of Swords, the Intellectual, and Balance. One person is giving too much in this relationship. Okay, couple of different scenarios here, so bear with me. It's highly unlikely that this is someone new or entirely new to you. It's possible if you've been seeing this person for a little bit and you've kind of been like, listen, I want you in my life, but like these are my expectations. It just seems like the person that you are asking about, you and them are at a very pivotal place in your connection relationship. And it seems like your person's energy and intentions, it seems like they feel hopeful about the future, but also there's a recognition that they have to change, or that the way that they were able to show up in this connection is not the same. And there's also a focus and emphasis on needing to be patient, needing to focus on what's healthy, focus on what's positive, but also having the courage to face what maybe they've been afraid of in the past. With the word dare here, I am thinking about like the DARE program, which I'm not sure if that was outside of America, but it's basically a drug resistance program that we American children are put in as kids. We're basically like kind of lies. Well, some of it is just like lying. But it's the quintessential program that tells you like weed is a gateway drug. That's like you're gonna smoke it once and then like have a hankering for heroin, which, as someone who spent a lot of time in California sober, never had the urge to do that. Call Big Pharma. They're kind of the ones guilty of that, but. Anyway, the DARE program, the reason why I bring that up is because, number one, lions might be a significant animal. We also have the number 13 and 31. We have 2 13s and 1 31 here. So 3s and 1s could be a significant number. Scorpio energy could be significant. Black cats could be significant. And the letter B and the letter D could be significant as well. Even the name Darren. That was the mascot, a lion named Darren. But anyway, this person, you know, it's quite possible even this person is having some sort of issue with a substance abuse or some sort of issue with their health, or they've had some sort of realization that in order to have a connection with you, to be in connection with you, they have to be a better version of themselves. But the weird thing is like, well, I don't even think it's that weird. There's kind of some relief in their energy where they know they can't be on their bullshit anymore. However, let's say that you're the one that came to this reading and you've been the one on that bullshit. I do think that this person, then their energy and intentions are much more focused on stepping away from you and the connection at this time in order to let you do what you need to do to grow and heal and to do what's best for them. Like I said, I do think there are a lot of different scenarios here. Overall, though, it seems like this person is aware that things need to change and they know they need to have the courage to do it, but they are hopeful about the future between you and them, and they know that whatever has transpired and however they need to change, or they need to give you space to change, depending on which situation you're in. Maybe you both have needed that. They know it's the healthiest and best decision to make. And there's almost this kind of relief in that you're not going to be playing into this same dynamic anymore, and that there is opportunity to do things different, to grow, to change. And I think there's also this kind of, well, not kind of, there is a hopeful energy about what the future holds and how things could transform. It's possible as well this ending could have been in the past, and maybe this person has come back into your orbit in a way where you weren't expecting, and they likely didn't expect it as well. Maybe they came into your life to just make amends for what happened in the past. I know that that's a process. I believe in the 12-step program, which is making amends. So they could be in something like that. Maybe no matter what, they're in a position where they want to be better and they want to do better, and especially when it comes to you. And this is where it's important to decipher and determine whether this is, well, this isn't, okay, one thing I will say is that this person is not the best at getting their words out. Like when I kind of see their mind, it's kind of like a tornado. And it reminds me of, like, you know, when you have an image in your head of what you want to draw and then you put it out on paper and it's like nothing compared to what was in your head, and it's super frustrating because you don't have the skills to get out what you see in your mind. I feel like that is kind of the situation with this person, but in like most areas of life where they have a really hard time actually communicating what's going on within them. They seem to have a hard time always finding the right words. And I think that one of the wounds that they have, especially in connection, is being misunderstood in communication. I think that they also have a tendency to not even try, like they're not even trying to do this, but sometimes, actually a lot of times, they end up in these dynamics with people where they end up triggering the other person's worst fears or insecurities, not because they are trying to at all, but because they have a poor way of communicating, and their own shortcomings can easily be misinterpreted by the other person as evidence of their own insecurities coming true. Like, so for example, you know, let's say this person has been inconsistent, and one of your biggest wounds is that you're not worthy of consistent connection. And so their lack of consistency, maybe their lack of consistency is because they've been sleeping a lot, or they're on a new medication and they're getting used to it and they haven't said anything, or maybe they're insecure about it. Like, I can definitely see that they have this tendency to keep things hidden, even in ways, in a lot of ways, in ways that are unhelpful, because they're afraid to be seen. And I wonder if they grew up in a situation where they were punished or they were shamed for very basic, normal human things. And so they're like, part of their process is learning how to know what is healthy and normal to communicate, and even know that it's okay to communicate and that it doesn't have to be perfect. Because I feel like for you, there may be this, I feel like between the two of you in general, there's kind of this energy of misunderstanding and miscommunication that allows the both of you to assume the worst of each other and validate your deepest fears about desirability, about worthiness. I wouldn't be shocked if the person you're asking about has a Chiron in Gemini, or has like a retrograded Mercury, or just has really challenging like squares on their Mercury or something like that. It just seems like they have a really hard time communicating their truth, but also it seems like, at least in your dynamic, they're not being enabled anymore, or they may have quite literally lost you, or they walked away from you if it's vice versa, because and maybe that took a lot of courage for them, because they knew that if there's any hope for the two of you in the future, to even just have a positive dynamic between the two of you, the healthiest thing would be to take time out and grow and evolve. In terms of their current intentions towards you, they are to have courage to change and to focus on change. Like, they're not going back. They're also focused on what's healthiest for the both of you, and they do have hope. Now, here's where things kind of diverge more, and it's important for you to know your circumstances. The potential of the connection here heavily depends on both of your willingness to communicate to the best of your abilities, to know what you're deserving of, and be willing to communicate and establish, like, these are my expectations for a relationship, for connection, for what's going to happen between the two of us. This is what I will and won't put up with. But there's also a need to be aware of, are you both going to uphold your ends of the bargain here? Because, for example, let's say this person is making the process of changing, but you're too afraid to say, hey, I really need to hear from you every single day, even if it's just once, to say, hey, checking in, or hey, I really need this form of affection. You know, words of affirmation are really important to me, and I need to know that you care about me. I need to know XYZ. Because what I can see here is that both of you likely have a hard time speaking up about what you want because you're afraid it's not good enough. And I'm going to tell you a story. I was in a relationship with a diagnosed narcissist. Bless his soul. I mean, it's even a big step to get that diagnosis, right? But when we were in a relationship, he would tell me that he couldn't cuddle with me because he would have every excuse under the sun that he couldn't cuddle with me. And that's just the one thing that like I need in a relationship. Like, I'm a little snuggle bug. I like to cuddle. And he'd be like, babe, like I can't because my thoughts like are everywhere, and like I just can't, it's too much. And like, when I look back on that relationship, you know, I feel so much like sadness for myself that I didn't have the strength to say, you know, this is a non-negotiable thing. Like, I would have to beg for just like 20 minutes of that. But at the same time, there was an expectation that I should just exist in his space and not say or do anything. And if I ask for anything, then that's my fault. That's my problem. I'm being too needy. Had to go through that experience to learn that I deserve better than that. And I think that is something where now, if in that situation, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, all right, I'm out. Like, I'm bouncing. And one of the processes that I had to go through was the realization that my needs and feeling loved are more important than my loyalty to the person, especially if they're unwilling to even do the bare minimum. Like, someone that I'm meant to be in a relationship with, it won't, like, if cuddling with me is too much of an ask, we're not compatible, and this is not going to happen. No matter how deep my feelings are, how much I care about the person, that's just a no-go. And that is an excellent example of where this King of Swords energy is coming out, and this know your worth energy, where you need to have the strength and the courage to recognize what are your non-negotiables in connection and in a relationship, and take the other person out of the equation and just say, if I'm in a relationship in general, what are the things that I need to have? Because, like, of course, if you're like, I need you to juggle at the foot of my bed every day and write me a novel every day on how much you love me. Okay, like, yeah, that's probably a little bit crazy. It's a little bit, you know, maybe the expectations are too high there. But, you know, just basic love and affection are never, ever too much. And more often than not, people want to know the best way to love you, especially if they're interested in you. So what's really important here in terms of the potential of this relationship is if both of you are willing to meet each other with where you're at, talk about the dynamics you don't want to repeat. Talk about what isn't working for you, what isn't serving, and how things need to change, and how you're willing to work together. And to also recognize, like, okay, what have I been afraid to say in the past that I need, or that needs to change, or blah, 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 blah. And are you willing to hear the same from them? That's going to be very important, because no matter what here, there is a fresh start coming. But whether that fresh start is together or separate depends on, number one, the willingness of both of you to make these changes. Your person it does seem like their intentions are to change. Now, intentions and actions are different, and especially when it comes to things like addiction and things like that, you know, that can be a really challenging thing, and there are highs and lows with that. For some of you, this person's intentions, they could be to walk away in general if they feel they can't meet these needs, but that's all the more reason why it's important to have this conversation, because you don't deserve to hang on to someone or a situation that doesn't suit you, that doesn't meet your needs, when in reality you could be getting that. However, for a lot of you, both of you want to work on this, and both of you know that your dynamic could be better, it can get better. And now that you are both in positions, well, at the very least, I feel like you're more so in a position where you're knowing what you deserve and what you will and won't put up with. And I feel like this person is realizing that they can't get away with things that they did in the past. And I think that goes beyond your connection. I think just like, you know, for example, if they've had issues with alcohol, for example, like they can't get away with, oh, just one little drink or something like that. Like people are going to know, people are going to check them and be like, hey, you know, let's not go to a bar. Like, let's go hang out at my place. Like, let's go watch a movie. Like, I feel like everyone in this person's life knows what's up with them and is willing to help and support them. But the way you know whether the potential for this connection lies in a fresh start with each other or a fresh start on your own is knowing whether you can have reciprocity with each other. And that may not be something that happens naturally. It may be something you guys have to communicate with each other and work to get on the same page. And it may not be something that happens immediately, but it is something that you both are working towards, where you have evidence that this person is trying and that things do improve over time. And what's really important for the both of you is to have a clear enough mind to know what your boundaries are, to communicate to the best of your abilities, and to be honest with yourselves when things aren't working, when something needs to change, or when something just isn't working out, or when it is, and to say, hey, this is great, let's keep doing this. Because ultimately, the potential of this connection lies in the willingness for both of you to have this fresh start and to be in agreement on what that looks like and where you go from there. So if one of you, i.e. this person, unless you're the one that's been having more of the challenges, maybe you both have, who knows, if you're setting boundaries and setting up your expectations, and this person is consistently not meeting them, consistently saying they will and then doing the opposite, consistently giving you reasons for why they can, and it feels like they're breadcrumbing you, that's your sign to say, the potential of this connection has been reached at this time, and I love myself enough, and I know I'm worth more than hanging on to breadcrumbs. And that's where you would have to be in the position where you say, this is not a reciprocal situation. I don't deserve to carry the both of us on my back. I'm going to have this fresh start. I'm going to move forward in my life. If things change, if you can change, then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But for now, I'm moving forward on my own. So, like I said, maybe that already happened and this person is recognizing that they need to change, but the potential of the connection lies not just in you willing to set your boundaries and speak your truth, in both of you doing that. And that might require you saying, listen, I need more communication from you. I need you to say how you're viewing things. And like that might require you doing the uncomfortable thing of pushing a little bit, pushing outside your comfort zone, and not just allowing the first sign of resistance to be a sign that you just throw everything away, to say, hey, I know you're resisting, but if you really care about this, like, I'm not going to engage in this same cycle and this same dynamic with you anymore. Like, we either grow and change or we walk away. Like, we either do this together or it can't be done together. And so I definitely think that there is this put up or shut up type of energy. There's this point of no return energy, where you have the potential to bring balance here, have a fresh start, and have a dynamic and a connection based on terms that you both agree to from a clear mind and a clear heart, and that align with your values, align with what you know makes you feel loved and what you deserved, or agreement that, and it doesn't even actually have to be agreement, or the decision that one of you makes that is, okay, well, I can't think with my heart, I have to think with my head here. Because your head is realistically thinking about your heart. Because I don't think your heart could take much more of a non-reciprocal relationship here, going in that same circle, in that same cycle. And that is your head saying, listen, the most compassionate thing we can do is start over for ourselves instead. So, like I said, the potential lies in, how does your person show up? Are you able to communicate and effectively and clearly? Can you work together? And do they change? Do you change? Will you change? So for some of you, that's a yes. For others, it's a no. But we're going to go ahead and get into the tarot now and look at things more deeply and just see what you need to know and go further. So while I'm shuffling, first of all, I just want to say thank you for being here. And if you're interested, we are going to be looking, or in the extended, we're going to be looking at what's next for both of you and doing a deep dive into like the next cycle between you and them, the next phase. And even if you and them are choosing to walk away from one another, we can still look at what's going on like between the two of you at the same time. Like, even if that's like let's say, you know, for some of you, this is a situation where you need to go your own way for a bit. We can still look at what that's going to look like and how you could potentially come together. But for others, you know, I feel like it's especially important if you guys are choosing this next cycle and this next phase, you'll be able to see, you know, what energies will you be showing up in? How are you guys meant to level up and love? Like, what is this cycle going to look like from the outside, and where are you guys ending up, and what's the purpose of this time? So gonna be really informative. Thank you to everyone who hypes up the extendeds, because they're really fun, and I'm quite vulgar and chaotic in those. So if you want to check that out, that'll be linked down below. But if not, I'm just grateful you're here. And if you'd like to support me in any free ways, liking the video, commenting down below, letting me know how it resonates, subscribing if you haven't already, letting the ads play, those are all really helpful ways to support me. So thank you to everyone who does that. But I think that we need to start by asking, what is a non-negotiable for you that you need to have in order for this connection to work, and in order for you to give yourself and your energy to someone? So Spirit, what is a non-negotiable for pile 1 that they should be asserting when it comes to setting their boundaries and their needs in a relationship? Okay, oh wait, that's a booby. That's a booby. That is a booby. I need to hide that. So we have a Devil card here. I feel like a non-negotiable for you. Actually, I want to clarify for this. Can you clarify this, Spirit? Yeah. Okay. A non-negotiable for you is, what's the best way to explain this? You need someone who is willing to go through the dark times with you and be open and honest about their flaws. You want to see the dark sides of people, in the sense that you need to know what their dark side looks like, what their shadow side looks like, because you want to love that just as much. Part of maybe one of the things that happened in this situation is this person hid a lot from you. You know, maybe they were struggling with addiction and they never told you about it. Maybe they had a lot of insecurities and fears and they pushed you away and never told you about them. So it just seemed like they were rejecting you or lost interest. A non-negotiable for you is definitely a willingness to open up about fears, and someone to accept you for your fears, for your darkness, for your insecurities as well. I think one thing you're realizing is that by facing challenge, by facing what makes you feel trapped, by facing your shortcomings or just sharing your shortcomings with someone else, that's an excellent opportunity to create more love. That's an excellent opportunity to bring you closer. And that's also a way that you can set each other free. You know, the Devil is all about, you know, what keeps us trapped, what keeps us chained. But also the Devil has light aspects. Things like, I think number one, something that you need is a satisfying physical connection with someone that you can be your kinkiest, nastiest self with and not feel ashamed or embarrassed, but also someone who shows their desire for you, someone who excites you, and someone who isn't afraid to bare their soul in a way where, actually no, not bare their soul, bare their humanity. Bare their humanity in front of you, and be willing to be vulnerable enough to say, here are my flaws, here's where I don't feel good enough, here's where I feel unloved, here's what I'm afraid of in love, this is where I feel trapped, this is where I feel tied down. Because not only will that be a powerful expression of love for you, that's a form of intimacy that's quite powerful, and also something where you realize, okay, I can trust this person. That's trust for you. But I also think that, you know, a non-negotiable for you as well is engaging in toxic dynamics that maybe you would have been drawn to in the past that you realize now are not love. You know, a lot of times people use the word love and it's not really love. It's when they say I love you, maybe it's I love the way I get to control you, or I love the power I have over you, or something like that. You know, if you've engaged in dynamics where it hasn't really been love, it's been attachment, or it's been a familiar pattern of relating that isn't healthy. I think that one of the non-negotiables for you, and especially as you've healed and as you've grown, you've recognized, I'm not even attracted to that anymore. And maybe there's a part of you that still is, that still kind of yearns for it, maybe even misses it because it's familiar and because it's easier. But I think you're recognizing that, number one, you want someone who's just as committed to not engaging in those dynamics as you are. So someone who doesn't justify them, someone who doesn't think that they're acceptable or okay. But also at the same time, I do feel like it is important for you to connect with someone who gets and understands that you're not asking for someone to be perfect. You're just asking for someone to be authentic and real with you and share these things with you, because especially when it comes to romantic relationships, like that's a form of intimacy that, you know, you don't have with a lot of other people, and you need that, and that's okay. You need someone who's not going to hide that stuff from you. You need someone who's going to be open enough to share that with you, even if it takes time. And also, I think a non-negotiable for you as well is someone who allows you to be your weird, wild, wonderful self. And I think you want that in someone else as well. So definitely also someone who is willing to move through periods of darkness with you. And I don't say darkness in a bad way, but, you know, challenge, conflict, things like that, and know that there's opportunities for love here. There's opportunities for growth, but we need to communicate. We need to be open and honest about this. So let's go a bit deeper now. I want to see what should you be communicating? Or, yeah, is there something you should communicate that you haven't, that you're being encouraged to, that Spirit wants you to share? Courage. Whatever you've been afraid of sharing, whatever you've been afraid of opening up about in the past, whatever you've been afraid, and maybe that's as simple as saying, no, I will not accept that. No, I will not do that thing. Or, I see us falling into an old dynamic and that needs to change. Anything like that. Really, I think you know deep down if there's something you haven't been communicating. Maybe it's just more earnest communication in general, and just being open about what you need, and not being ashamed of that, because there is nothing shameful about your needs. If anything, it's shameful that you've been conditioned to believe that your needs are shameful in the first place. Shame on those that taught you that. But yeah, you just need to trust yourself. And when you're on that threshold of, this is what's going to be really powerful for you. When you reach that limit of, oh, I want to hold back now because this scares me, that's when you're on the threshold of fear to love. Because the fear says, nope, don't say it. Nope, if you say it, you won't be lovable. Nope, if you say it, they'll reject you. And love says, if they reject me for this reason, if they can't love me for this reason, then I know that they're not the one for me at this time. And I also know that it might be scary to say no to this, but that's what will lead me to the person that can. That's what will lead me to a healthier dynamic with this person, or a healthier dynamic with someone who can meet my needs. So I'm trying to think of what I want to ask next. I really want to ask something in relation to this person. I want to ask how you'll know they've changed. So Spirit, how will pile one know that they can trust in the changes that this person is making? I wondered if Temperance would come out here, and I'm actually really being called to read Temperance from the book, but Patience. It's kind of one of those things where you have to kind of wait for time to tell, but also Temperance goes hand in hand with balance. And in the Rider-Waite tarot version of Temperance, there's literally an angel holding two, I would say cups, but they're more like goblets, and there's water flowing in between the two of them. And how you'll know is you'll be getting energy back. Like, there will be this mutual giving and receiving. So if you're giving and giving and giving and getting nothing back, and over time nothing changes, even though they say they will, and it doesn't, that's a sign for you that they're not holding up their end of the bargain. Like, it might take some time, and it does require patience, but they will start acting on what they've promised and what they intend to do. Like whatever agreements you come to, they will act on. So just see what the Temperance card says here. There might be some useful info for you here. This is the Enchanted Love Tarot if you were curious, although I do put all of my decks in the description. Yes, if you are patient. A woman stands motionless, carefully balancing a paper lantern at the end of a stick, hoping to attract a golden bird to the seeds she has placed inside it. The seed symbolizes the qualities necessary to attract good fortune or good relationships. Be still, balanced, and patient. I think a good quote for you is let them. Like whatever they choose to do, let them. Speak your truth, state your boundaries, be willing to work with them. But if they're not, if they're unwilling, if they want to be on their bullshit, let them and do what's best for you. If you are going to say or do something important that might have a significant effect on your love life, drawing Temperance upright is an indication you should wait until a more auspicious time. Now is not the time to be impetuous. If you are without a partner, the upright Temperance card means relax, be patient, things are good. Letting things happen in their own time is an essential step on the road to your spiritual development. And remember, another meaning of Temperance, it is your spiritual development that is going to bring you true love. Wait a little longer for that certain person to make contact. Let complexity work for you. Whatever you do, don't rush it. Do it at the perfect moment. Learn how others time their plan and emulate them. If you're in a relationship, things are going to work out for the best when you, your partner, or both of you are willing to be more patient and accepting. 2 attributes of true love. Channel your energy privately into making plans and making lists about what you want and don't want. The results of your planning may surprise you. So there's that King of Swords energy coming out again. And the one thing I do want to say is like, yeah, you know, maybe you wait to bring this up. Maybe you wait to make this happen. And maybe even this person coming into your reading, you're like, well, I didn't even think they would come in. And maybe you weren't even considering it, but it's like, okay, well, maybe if that's meant to happen, it will. So trust in the timing when it feels right to make these things happen. Maybe you want to give this person a little bit of space and a little bit of time before you kind of establish things here. And they'll likely say, hey, I need a little bit of time, or hey, I need this. And I do think it will require your patience. But more than anything, I do think, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. And sometimes changes do take time. And sometimes it does take us time to grow and evolve. And I think how you'll really know if you're in it for the long haul with this person is if your heart tells you to be patient and your heart tells you like if you're truly done with the situation, your heart will release it. And I think your heart will really be telling you in this situation, like, okay, they seem sincere. We started to see the seeds of change. Let's be patient. Let's go one step at a time and see what happens. And we know that if things don't change, at least we know that we gave it our all. And ultimately, we know what we need to know. So now I guess I just want to see how you'll know that you need to walk away from this situation, or how will pile 1 know that they need to walk away from this situation for good, or at least the time being? How will pile 1 know that they need to walk away from this situation for good or the time being? There's the King of Swords coming out again. So you'll know. The truth will be too clear for you. I mean, 2 + 2 = 4. And if someone's trying to convince you it's not, you're going to be like, okay, well, I know 2 + 2 is 4. Like, it's going to be clear to you. So trust that. And it might be that you have this conversation with them. You wait for the right time to have this conversation with them, and it's clear they're not able to step up. And so you're like, okay, well, I guess it's time for me to move forward on to bigger or better things. And then, or you're like, okay, well, this can't move forward now, and this isn't what's best for either of us. So I think how you'll know is your mind will give you a very clear answer, and it will just be a truth that you can't ignore. And I feel like your heart will even have this level of fatigue where you're like, it would literally be more painful to continue enduring this dynamic than it would to move forward. And now I know it's time to do what's best for you. So trust yourself. And what's interesting here is we even on the bottom of the deck, we have the Death card again. So transformation. So no matter what powerful transformation is meant to occur, at least on an individual level, but definitely together if you're both committed to it. And the key word is both. You can't do the work for both of you, but it may require patience on your end or on their end as you grow and change and as you evolve. But that's the thing is like, it may not be completely perfect. It may not be everything you want immediately, but if you see tangible signs of change and growth and you both are willing and you feel like you're receiving, and you may need to pay attention to your comfortability with receiving. You might be too uncomfortable to receive all that you deserve, and that's something you may need to call yourself out on, because this person may even try to give to you in the ways that you're asking them to, and then you might realize you're really uncomfortable with it and want to push it away. So pay attention to that. But if it's time to walk away, you'll know. You'll know it in your mind and your heart. And it'll just be like, damn, I probably really don't want to do this, but I know I have to. Like, at this point, it's clearer than water. Filtered water. Not some, like, shit brown river water, but, like, purified, distilled water. Clear as a diamond. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and finish this off now with just some guidance for you and what Spirit wants you to know at this time. So Spirit, what guidance do you have for pile 1? Give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. And I feel what's so important here is that, like, if this person is not able to meet what you truly need and deserve, know that someone else is coming who will. And if you feel like in your heart the situation is not over, that it will come back around, trust in that. But be patient in that trust, and don't feel like you need those answers now, because the answer now is like, okay, well, it sounds like you need to put it down for a bit in order for it to come back in the way you want it to, vice and things like that. But no matter what, like, if you don't affirm for yourself, like, if you're constantly begging for scraps and not even getting that, and the other person is unwilling to change, that is your answer that you deserve more. And walking away from them is evidence to the universe, at least for the time being, that you know you deserve more and you're ready to receive more. Because so long as you continue enabling that dynamic, you're basically telling yourself in the universe, I don't deserve more. And that makes it harder and more overwhelming to step away. But I know you will. But for others, this person does want to change. They do have intentions to change. They have hope, and they have the courage to face their fears and face, you know, their insecurities and do things differently. And they will show you that. You will work together, and it will be a powerful fresh start for the both of you. And it will be one where you've never experienced love like this before. And it's cool because it's the type of love that, well, it's love at its core, right? Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not take. It simply allows and gives. And that's the thing. Love does not take. So if this person just takes from you and says what you want to hear and never changes, that's a red flag. That's where your King of Swords needs to say, our bullshit meter's going off, and we don't have much bullshit left that we can take. We've grown accustomed to the taste of bullshit, and I don't think we want to taste it anymore. But if you know in your heart and you see the physical evidence and you guys are communicating clearly and this person is reciprocating, hell yeah, things can change and you guys can have a fresh start. And realize that you guys, like, I feel like especially for those of you that will have a fresh start with this person, you will realize, like, you've never had a more truly intimate connection with someone. And I feel like you both will be grateful for the challenging times you had together, because they were what you needed in order to come together in the truest, most loving, most earnest way. Is there anything else? Any other guidance you have for pile 1, Spirit? Emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. And that's also another King of Swords energy there, where, you know, your heart might want to hold on and might want to believe in the best, but your mind knows they've been giving us the runaround for this long. They show no signs of changing, and they're telling me the same old thing. I need to be strong and do what's going to be easier on my heart, which is, it might be easier on your heart in the short term to just pretend like you don't see that the sky is blue, but you know it is, you know? Any final guidance, Spirit? Manifesting miracles. Your dream is soon to become a reality. Trust your heart and continue to follow its guidance. So no matter what, I do feel like a fresh start is coming for you. And the best thing you can do for yourself is assert your worth, and don't be afraid to speak up for what you need, because if someone can't meet that, you're just getting yourself closer to someone who will. And if this person can meet it, you guys will get to experience the beautiful process of growth and change, and being who you always knew you could be, and having the relationship you always knew you could have, and earning it through growth and evolution that you do together. And what's better than that? Guys being dudes. That's a Vine reference. But pile one. I'm going to go ahead and move over into the extended now, where we're going to look at what's next for you two. So feel free to meet me over there if you want to. But if you are leaving me here, thank you guys so much for watching. And thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you could like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch. You can check out my social media. You can check out my candles. Be sure to use code ASO 10% off. You can check out my other videos. And yeah, you can send me love through the ether. I'll send you some right back. But that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. You can also share this with someone else. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video. And I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the second stack of cards and the Charoite Moon, this is going to be your reading on the potential of the connection between you and the person you're asking about. If you do have questions, please feel free to... Oh my gosh. Girl, can you just get out of the frame? Don't need you in there. Are you in there? No, I'm being dramatic over nothing. Maybe that's a theme. I don't know though. Let's look. So we're going to start by looking at the person you're asking about, what their energy and intentions are towards you and your connection right now. So to start with that, we have forgive. We have the Six of Pentacles with quality time. We have healing. And Ptah with skill improvement. If you have issues with how I pronounce that, you can take them up with Google, because that is what it told me to say. So then, as for the potential of the connection between the two of you at this time, we have friends to lovers. We have leap of faith. It's safe to make the move you're considering. We have the Page of Pentacles with the Optimist, and quality time. Okay. Well, those of you whose love language is quality time, boy, do I have good news for you. I actually really like this energy. And I see a lot of different scenarios here. This could be someone new. This could be someone you've known for a long time. This likely is not someone that you are already with. Maybe you are dating them. We'll get there. I can definitely see that this person's energy and intentions towards you right now are to take things slow and steady, but also put an emphasis on spending quality time with you, especially in person. And if you guys are long distance or out of distance from one another in any way, I feel like they would prioritize physically going to your location or you to theirs. And if that's not possible, then types of communication where they at least get to see your face and hear your voice. The more of your physical presence that they are able to receive, the better. They want that. And also, it's possible that the amount of time spent or the amount of energy that they've been able to give has maybe been a bit lopsided. Maybe they've been really busy, or maybe they've just had things to focus on, and so they've been a bit, I don't want to say MIA, but maybe just they haven't had the time and energy that they would like to dedicate to you. So I can definitely see them wanting to balance that out. But also I can just see that they want to initiate, especially with the Six of Pentacles. They want to show up for you and show you that you matter. And this actually makes a lot of sense now. I was fidgeting with my camera cord because I was afraid it was in the frame. That's why I was being overly dramatic over nothing. And I wonder if too, like both of you have feelings for one another. And it's possible that small things could make one or both of you jump to conclusions, or kind of have to like sit with yourself, because you might think like, oh, they haven't responded to me, and a day or so. Maybe they hate my guts and are going to set my house on fire, and it's like, I don't think so. And then they reach out, or you're like, no, that's silly. I'm sure they're not doing that. And you kind of just have to keep yourself in check. I definitely think that if there has been some sort of inability for you guys to see each other as much, or some sort of imbalance in how much you are connecting or communicating, I feel like it's your person's intentions. If it's on their end, they are hoping that you'll forgive them, and this Six of Pentacles energy is kind of wanting to make up for that. But let's say the imbalance has been on your end. They're not stressed about that, and in fact they want to continue showing you that they are serious about you, they are interested in you, and they're not taking whatever went down between the two of you personally. I also see with this healing card here, if there have been any hard times between the two of you in the past, or hard feelings or frustrating things, I definitely think they have the intention of healing that and making sure that that is not a factor in the future. But I feel like for a lot of you, this has more to do with the fact that your person may have fears about opening themselves up to romantic connection and love in general. I can't help but notice the fact that we have two different cards with a heart necklace on it. So heart necklaces could be significant. Also, your person could have a beard, or they could wear a lot of white or a lot of green. Those are colors that are coming through, and significant numbers I'm seeing are 2, 3, and 6. So any of those numbers could be significant as well, or the 30th or the 12th or the 6th or the 23rd of a month. Those are all factors that I'm seeing here. But I also feel like with this skill improvement card, I feel like your person's intentions as well are to improve their ability to communicate and improve their ability to show up, or just at the very least be the type of friend and hopefully lover that you deserve. If you guys are already lovers in some sort of way, I think that they might be wanting to make sure that your friendship with each other is not neglected. And I actually really love that, because there's something really special about you. And I feel like this person really wants you to know that they are afraid to open their heart up to more. And it is easier for them to stay just friends with you. And I think that's one reason why they want to take things slow, is because they are nervous, like they don't want to get their heart broken, but they also don't want you to think that they want to friend zone you, because they do want more than that. It's just they might be worried that they're not ready for that yet, or that they could mess something up, or just not be able to give you the time and energy that you deserve. So this skill improvement could also be focused as well on things that they need to attend to in their life, so that they can dedicate more time and energy to you. And that could also be centered around healing their heart space, or just they could be going to therapy or doing specific things to feel more comfortable being vulnerable with you and pushing the connection beyond just friendship. And if it is already beyond friendship, maybe the lines have been kind of blurred and things have been kind of confusing. I definitely feel if that's the case, they have the intention to make things more clear in the future, but they really want to take things slow. But the thing that I like about this energy is they're not taking things slow because they're stalling. They're taking things slow because they want to have a really solid foundation here. And I have a feeling that both of you have had experiences in the past where the rug has been ripped out from underneath you, or you've been with partners or just people that it was really intense, really fast. And maybe for some of you, this is like someone from your past. Maybe it was really intense and fast and it burnt out and it created chaos and confusion. And so now they are really wanting to take the opposite approach to ensure that there is no replication of the past, or replication of past experiences. I feel like they really want to spend a lot of time with you. They really enjoy spending time with you, and I feel like time just kind of melts when they're around you. Like, it just, yeah, I mean, I guess time flies when you're having fun, right? But they really cherish and treasure the time that they spend with you, and they always want to spend as much time with you as possible. And the key word is as possible. They may not have as much time as they would like to spend with you, it's quite possible their career could come up, or they could just have certain obligations that they have to attend to. But I can see here that they are trying to kind of rearrange their life in ways that will allow them to be more open to you, because there's something, and I really like this, they are being honest with themselves about the fact that they've probably used work or just certain aspects of their life outside of you and them to they probably use those as excuses to avoid connecting more deeply with you, not because they don't want to, but because they're afraid of messing things up. They're afraid of moving things forward. They're afraid of, oh gosh, like what's going to happen next. Because I do think there is a comfort zone of you guys being friends or having or being in this more ambiguous space right now. But I can see here that they recognize that it's not fair to you. And also, it's not fair to themselves either, because not only is that not honoring what their heart really wants, but it's also not showing you their true intentions and what they really want out of this connection with you. And I also have to mention, they are forgiving themselves for the fact that they may have pushed people away or pushed you away or been kind of avoidant with you at certain points because their heart got afraid. But they're recognizing like they need to heal their heart. They need to be more secure in themselves and open up to this, because the potential of the connection, I really, really like to see this. So the potential of the connection is to go from friends to lovers, or if you are already doing that, you guys are headed in that direction. I can see here with the Page of Pentacles as well. I really love this energy because despite any worries or fears you may have, both of you are not letting them get the best of you or get so out of hand that you take action that doesn't align with what you truly want. One or both of you could be having have a plan for how you want to move things forward. I can definitely see the potential here is a slow and steady connection that builds more intimacy over time. If you guys are already lovers, then I think that they may be feeling like they're just missing you and they want to connect more. But if you guys are friends or in some awkward in-between stage, they're definitely wanting to spend time with you and just kind of deepen that connection and bring more love into the picture. I'm definitely curious to see what that leap of faith is, but they just want to keep spending lots of time with you. And I love that this Friends to Lovers card is behind a waterfall. I feel like there's something about when you guys spend time together, you may not overtly talk about your feelings a lot, but there's just a lot of emotional, I don't even know if there's a word to describe this. Like, it just feels really good for you guys to be around each other. There's just a lot of positive emotions that surround you, and just this feeling of relaxation, nourishment, peace. And I feel like that is a really, really solid sign, especially because both of you are being patient with one another and being patient with how things unfold. And I also think that you guys are really bringing good vibes to the table. You guys are looking at the bright side here. And one thing that I really like is it seems like both of you are not taking each other's behaviors personally. Like, for example, if one of you has to disappear, your assumption, maybe in the past it was, oh, maybe they hate me and are gonna set my house on fire. And now it's like, I'm sure they're just busy. And if they set my house on fire, it's probably because there was like a big ass spider in it and they were just trying to save me, right? I think you guys are really seeing the best in one another and not letting your fears of things unraveling get the best of yourselves. And I think that there is a lot of opportunities coming in the future for both of you to just spend more and more time together in whatever ways that's accessible to you. And I do think that there is also potential to make some sort of move to specifically go from friends to lovers, to have like, that could be anything from the what are we conversation, or for some of you, you know, if you're already with this person, maybe this is talking about moving in together. Or for some of you, you know, maybe you're still just friends and maybe, you know, you're opening that up to something more, or the potential to open it up to something more is there. The one thing that I really like to see the most is the fact that we have Pentacles here. So that tells me, even though Pentacles are very slow moving, so it does take time for things to unfold, what does unfold is really solid and you can trust in it. So I definitely think that this isn't the type of connection where the rug is going to be pulled out from underneath the either of you. I feel like this is something that's just unfolding naturally and you don't have to rush it. But there's just a beautiful, good feeling that exists between the two of you. And I think both of you are really just wanting to spend more time together and keep moving this. I don't know why this terminology is coming into my head, but I just heard like joy trolley. Like I've heard the phrase like let's keep the trolley moving, but it's a trolley of joy, I guess, and that's really sweet. That's like making me smile. I think that's really cute. You guys are definitely really happy in one another's presence, and one thing I'd be willing to bet is you guys smile a lot with one another. I'm literally grinning like a goofy idiot right now, so it's probably what you guys look like. You guys probably don't look like goofy idiots. I probably shouldn't say that about myself, but I'm not saying it in like a genuinely like self-deprecating way, but you get what I'm saying. But speaking of time, we are going to move into tarot time, where I'm going to start asking questions. But while I shuffle your tarot, I do want to mention, if you're curious about what is next between you and them, I'm definitely excited to look at it. We are going to be looking at that in the extended, which will be linked down below. We're going to be looking at overall, like what's next overtly, and kind of like what the theme of this next cycle between the two of you will be. And then we're going to be looking at both you and them and together, and we're gonna see like what energy you're gonna be showing up in this next period of time, what energy they're showing up in. We're gonna look at what you are learning about love, how you're leveling up in love, and what this time is showing you about yourself and about this connection. Same with your person, what they're gonna be learning, how they're gonna be leveling up, and it's going to come together to look at what the purpose of this next cycle is, how you're coming together, and where you go from there, like what the purpose of this time is. So if you're interested in that, that'll be linked down below. Thank you to everyone who goes and checks that out or, you know, hypes them up. That just means the world to me. We have a lot of fun over there. I'm quite vulgar and you are much more likely to get stories that I won't tell over here because our corporate overlords need me to be somewhat reined in. But you don't need to, just grateful you're here. And anything as simple as leaving a like or a little comment, letting the ads play, giving me a subscribe, all of that is super helpful. Thank you to everyone who does that. So just glad you're here. But I think what we're going to start with, I want to talk about this leap of faith and see what this is and whether, and the way that we'll know this is you or this is them is if this matches something that you've wanted to do, then this leap of faith is related to you and you're being encouraged to take that. And if it doesn't sound like something you've been planning, then it seems like this is a leap of faith your person is planning on taking. So Spirit, what leap of faith? Whoa, okay. Can we clarify the moon, please? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This to me is a what are we conversation, or a opening up about feelings for the first time, speaking about the unsaid, wanting to be more than friends, essentially moving beyond whatever barriers have existed between the two of you because you have been too afraid to establish those in the meantime. So for example, maybe this is a conversation of, hey, I want you to come visit, or hey, I know your lease is up, like, do you want to move in with me? Or hey, I have feelings for you. Do you have feelings for me? And it's quite possible that maybe both of you could have these intentions. So if you're like, oh, I have been thinking about that, it's quite possible they could be too. It's like maybe both of you are kind of just waiting for the other to make that first move. And I feel like both of you are kind of wishing for the other to, like whoever does do that first, you're going to be so relieved once you do. Like, and the other person especially is going to be so relieved. And there's going to be this like, oh, I knew I could trust my intuition. Oh my gosh, I can't stop like grinning. I love that though. It makes me really happy. I definitely feel like as well, this leap of faith is also about bringing clarity to your situation in a way where, you know, maybe there are the things you've been curious about, like how long have they had feelings for me? Or maybe you guys have never, maybe even though there have been just a lot of like intimate moments, you haven't overtly talked about your feelings. This could even be like, you know, saying I love you for the first time. I definitely think that both of you are kind of waiting until it's safe, but waiting maybe more than necessary, because you just want to be double sure that it's going to be okay. And I really love too that, you know, you guys picked a moon, and we have the moon here. And the moon can be what is hidden, what is illusory, can also represent secrets, and it can even represent deception. And I feel like if there's any self-deception, this expression of truth will be really helpful for the both of you, because you will realize like, oh, I didn't have anything to worry about. Like, this is mutual. Or if you've had fears that things were not going to pan out, I definitely feel like this Ace of Swords, this communication, this clarity, this truth is going to bring you both closer, and could be the very thing that takes you from one stage to the next. So I really like to see that, and I feel like you guys don't have to be afraid. But I love this. I was just thinking, I was like, I wonder what I'm gonna ask next, and I got it. I'm gonna ask how they feel when they are around you. So Spirit, how does this person feel when they're around pile 2, please? And why do they feel anxiety? Can you tell me? Okay, that makes sense. Okay. That's so frustrating. They have all these good, sweet feelings, and they're like, I feel nervous, I feel anxious. A big reason why they haven't opened the door to have a deeper conversation, and I would be willing to bet you will agree with this, there's definitely been a fear of opening up and talking about feelings, talking about the truth, because what if those feelings aren't reflected? And what if that means I lose all these wonderful feelings, I lose the hope in what could be? But also with the Four of Swords, I feel like for your person specifically, they have been working on healing themselves, and I think that they've been just a little bit, their heart's been a little tender, in the sense that I think they've had it walled off for a long time. And the Four of Swords is a card all about healing, and I think that there's something very healing about being in your presence. And I think that there's like this there's this energy where they go back and forth between, oh, it feels so good to be around pile 2, but oh, but what if I, you know, tell them how I feel and they just want to be friends? Or what if I open the door to this next stage and they don't agree, or they think I'm taking things, you know, I'm moving too fast, or I'm not good enough? I definitely think that there's something just very vulnerable about opening up to you. And I guess this makes sense. Like, I do feel like they have a hard time really opening up about their insecurities. It's almost like you've had questions of why, like you feel a mutual vibe, you know, deep down, like things are good between the two of you. You know, you might feel like it's a failure on your part in some way that they haven't opened up to you yet, or that they haven't moved something forward. Like maybe you're not good enough, or, you know, maybe they've changed their mind, and that's not the case. I just definitely think that I'm getting this example of always being stuck out in the cold. Like let's say this person, and this is not a real example, it's just a metaphor of how they're feeling. They are used to being outside in the wilderness in the dead of winter, and then all of a sudden they have access to this shelter that is warm, that is safe, that helps them relax, that allows them to not have to be hypervigilant, that allows them to not have to be 3 steps ahead, be always on guard. That is something that, even though it's really nice, there's a fear, not only a fear of losing that, but also a knowing of, well, what if I'm off my guard and then I get thrown out the house and I'm back in the cold? What if I'm not ready? And so I feel like that's something that they've been working out, and why it's been so important that they go so slowly. Because like that example that I'm saying is kind of what it's like to be in your presence and open their heart to you. It's like, it feels so good. This is literally a refuge from the rest of life and the rest of the world. And what if taking things forward or taking this next step means my inner world comes crumbling down, or means the feelings that I have with you come crumbling down, and I don't have that anymore. I'm also thinking of an example that my friend told me about, where she used to have a friend that she would go to the pub with, and he had like a huge crush on a girl that worked there, and she would always ask him like why he never approached her or, you know, opened himself up to her in any way. And this guy apparently was like, you know, quite a ladies' man, and was usually really charming, but for whatever reason just was not around her, maybe especially because he was nervous. And he told her the reason why he didn't is because the fantasy of her that he has in his head, what if it's not the reality? What if he gets rejected? Because if he gets rejected, he can't have that anymore. Like his mind won't allow it to. And it's like, it's safer to have her as like an object of imagination, an object of desire that he doesn't pursue, rather than open up that door, because what if it doesn't work out? But also, I'm not saying that this is the case with this person. I feel like, unlike the example I'm using, this person wants to move beyond that. They want this to be a reality, hence these earth energies that came through. But I can see how they've kind of gone back and forth between wanting to open things up more and holding back, because if it doesn't work out, they could lose everything. And let me be clear too, the behavior that I just described as well is peak wounded heart behavior, you know, not an unhealed heart behavior. So I definitely think that this person, your person, is working really hard on healing their heart in ways that allow them to open up. So I'm trying to think of what I want to ask next. I want to see what you need to know, about this situation for your highest good. What does pile 2 need to know about this situation for their highest good at this time? Oh, yeah. Trust. The Fool. Whether this is a new person entirely or someone that you have history with, you're entering an entirely new cycle with them. And the only thing I would say is that this is not a past person if they continue to be on their BS. Like, the way that you will know this is not them, if you feel a sense of, you'll know this is them if you feel peaceful and good around them. Any fears or anxieties that you have about them only surface once you leave, or only surface around them when you think about, oh, what's gonna happen next. Because when you're in one another's presence, you feel good. You feel like you're home. But if you're in their presence and you feel nervous, you feel on your toes, you feel on edge, you don't know what you're gonna get from them, and that's like a consistent thing, you never feel secure, you never feel safe, I don't think that's this person. But I feel like if you've gone this far and this is resonating, that's not the case. I just have to cross my T's and dot my I's. I never say that phrase, and I said that phrase today, earlier, texting Kino, actually. So this person's energy's been around, actually helping me cross T's and dot I's, so thank you, this person. If this person is also very good at being productive, getting things done, that could be this person. Earth energies could be quite significant as well. And I heard Virgo in my head. They don't have to be a Virgo or have Virgo energies, but they could. But what you need to know is that you can trust this situation. And, you know, the Fool goes hand in hand with the term leap of faith. So if you are tired of waiting for them to make a move, I feel like you're being encouraged to go ahead and do it when the time feels right to you, and to trust that you'll know when that time is. You know, obviously don't force something if you feel intuitively like, no, it's not time yet, I feel like I need to wait. Because I think that there are times when we just know, okay, let's do it. And there are other times where it's like, oh, this doesn't seem quite right. But I feel like you're really being encouraged to trust in taking this leap and trust in the future to come between the two of you, and to also know that you're entering a brand new cycle, which is so perfect for what we're going to be looking at in the extended. So that makes me really excited for you, and it makes me really happy. And I also think there's a message here about not needing to have everything figured out, not needing to know what's happening. You're more than prepared to face this situation. You're more than prepared to face the unknown here. There's nothing you need to learn. There's no lessons or anything like that you haven't integrated. Like, you're ready. It's just a matter of you trusting yourself enough to move things forward, or a matter of things unfolding in a way where a leap of faith can happen. So I guess speaking of that, I'm trying to think of what the last question I want to ask is before we get into guidance. And I'm wondering if I want to ask, like, the action they plan on taking, or what because it doesn't feel right. Like, I would just go with that, but it's not hitting right. I'm also considering, like, looking at, you know, external factors that may be creating a challenge. Actually, no, let's do this. Let's look at something that this person wishes you knew that they are too afraid to say at this time. What does this person wish or want pile 2 to know that they are too afraid to say at this time? My heart. This is... Look what's on the back of the deck, the Ace of Cups. They wanted to initiate this yesterday. And I feel like part of the reason why they haven't is they are really, like, they are serious about you. As serious as a heart attack. Ooh, oh my gosh. Okay, banger of a song, Heart Attack, Demi Lovato. And that song is all about, like, having really intense feelings for someone and not wanting to show them, because I feel like I'm gonna, like if I did that, I think I'd have a heart attack. Banger of a song. Excellent example of the queen herself's incredible voice. Like, oh my god, her vocals are insane. Their vocals. I don't know what her pronouns are now. I apologize if I said the wrong ones. But what they want you to know is that they feel romantic feelings for you, and they don't just see you as a friend. Oh my gosh, and look too how look at how I didn't plan on doing that, but just love. After the cards, like, the only thing showing is love and trust, romance, love twice. And I actually really want to read the 2 of Cups from the guidebook of this deck, because I feel like that could have messages there. But I think there's also a message here about they don't have their eyes on anyone else. There's no one that compares to you. If there's, like, someone that you are worried, like, maybe it's not someone in mind, but, like, maybe you're like, what if someone else comes along or something like that? There is no someone else. Like, and I wasn't gonna say this, but it really is giving me, like, Jim and Pam energy from The Office, or Andy and April, like, energy from Parks and Rec, like, any friends to lovers dynamic, you know, Leslie and Ben Wyatt. Like, there's a lot of, this is like a sitcom, cute love romance. And I really like to see that between the 2 of you. You can trust in this. And if there's a couple that came to mind that I didn't say, I mean, I only listed 2 different shows and 3 different couples. So if you have something in mind, feel free to share it. And definitely comment, like, let me know what that is, like, what couple you remind yourselves of. And the only thing I will say is, especially if the way that the couple that you're thinking of, their story unfolds is not how you want yours to unfold, don't project the idea that your story is going to unfold the way theirs will. Yours is completely unique, and you're not beholden to any narrative or story that's been written by an actual writer, or that's already happened. But let's just go ahead and see here really quickly with this 2 hearts beat as one. If you are alone, it's time to turn on your love light. Your willingness to listen, share, and commit yourself with all your heart will pay off. Like, that's what they want you to know, is that they are building themselves up to commit themselves with all their heart. True love is coming to you soon. Alone or with someone, you will get the rare chance to know the clear, nurturing, supportive, and heartfelt emotional exchange that is the mark of a good romantic relationship. And that is actually the wording that I was feeling when I was trying to explain what I felt in that waterfall card. Few things are more valuable. Yeah, oh, your passionate feelings will be reciprocated. There is an easy, pleasurable attraction and compatibility with great conversation, and if the time is right, enjoyable physical intimacy. So I love that for you guys. And oh, I'm so excited for you. I love to see things like this, and I love to do readings like this. And I just cut the deck, and once again, romance came out. So I definitely think like this is a romantic, like you guys are, this is gonna be the first time I think for both of you, or the first time in a really long time you've really opened yourselves up to romance, and whatever is romantic to you. Like, for example, you know, maybe flowers and chocolates are not very romantic to you, but chewing gum and sticking them in the pockets of someone your coworker is seeing is romantic in a Parks and Rec, for example. You know, the things that are romantic to you, like, and your person, like, that is the type of romance you will have. So it's not going to be something that, you know, you're like, that gives you the ick. It's going to be something that's like, oh, like, that's for me. Okay, but let's just go ahead now and give you some guidance. So Spirit, what guidance do you have for pile 2 when it comes to their connection with this person they're asking about? Oh, we have sacred union. Honor and treasure your relationship, for it is truly sacred, and only time will tell. I feel like Spirit is really kind of trolling you with that aspect of timing. Okay, wow, you guys got a lot of cards. So we also have freedom. There is nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. Deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. And I feel like this is coming from your person, and it says, look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean, which makes sense because of the water. And truthfully, that might be something that is scaring you, is maybe it doesn't make sense to have such deep feelings, but you know, maybe it's starting by saying I like you. And bottom of the deck, we have life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow, you'll be surprised where it leads. And speaking of cycles, it might lead you to the extended, because that's where I'm going now. But we're going to be looking into what's next for you and them. But if you are leaving me here, which is totally fine, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background, because that's one of the simplest and easiest ways to support me and show appreciation for my channel. I'm so excited for you guys. I really hope like you come back and let me know after you guys have this conversation or something, just like what happened. Like, I want to know. But other ways to support me, like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. Shout out to my notification squad. If you want me to see your comments, I usually see them when I first upload, and after that it's kind of a coin toss. But definitely don't hold back, you know, just because I may or may not see it. There could be someone else that really needs to see it, and I just really love the kindness and community you guys have created. Like, it's just really lovely. It's really wonderful, and it makes me so happy. Thank you guys for being so awesome. If you'd like to support me in other ways, you can check out other videos. You can check out my candles. Use code ASO10 for 10% off. You can check out my social media, which is basically just Instagram, but even then I resent it. I gotta figure out my social media strategies, because I like doing this. I hate making dog shit, brain dead, lowest common denominator content that does nothing for anyone. Gotta figure out how to go around that. But anything else? I don't think so. I think that's it. Oh, I have merch. But that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really enjoyed this reading, and I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video. And I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Angelite Angel and the third stack of Oracle cards, this is going to be your reading on what is the potential of this connection. So we are going to start by looking at the energies and intentions of the person you are asking about, or hopefully if another person shows up, maybe there's a message meant for you to hear. But if the person that shows up, you're like, just pick a different group and keep the energy of who you were really asking about in mind and see what shows up. But full breakdown of the reading in the intro, but we're going to go ahead and start by looking at what the person, hopefully you're asking about energy and intentions are towards you and the connection. So to start with that, we have learn your lessons. We have the Four of Cups with reflection. We have memories, and we have Isis with healing. And then this is representing the potential of the connection at this time. So for that, we have give and receive. We have apology. You can expect the apology you want to hear. We have the producer plant, which is a unique card in this tarot deck. It's a bachelorette themed deck, and it's kind of ironic because I've actually never seen that show, but I really like this deck. And unfinished business. I'm just gonna say right now, this is someone from your past. If you want nothing to do with that, pick a different group, okay? You have free will, just pick a different group. However, I will say, make a note that you pick this group, because if this person comes back or comes into your life and you in any way feel like you need guidance, support, or just a need to understand what's going on, maybe just make a note that this happened, that this video came up, that this reading came to you, just in case you need it in the future. Because this producer plant card indicates to me that there are circumstances outside of your control that unless this person is like if you have a restraining order or something against them, like this is not your reading, this is not your group. If they're like literally like a dangerous person or something like that, you know, that no, I don't channel things like that. And even though an energy might apply to someone like that, no, it's not a thing. No, the worst we do here is toxic. We don't do things like abuse. And so if someone like that is coming up, you don't need to hear a reading about it, you don't need to know anything about it, you just need to pick a different group and pretend like you didn't even see this. And if they do show up in your life, know the number to call the police or keep them the hell away from you. I mean, give me your address, I'll pull up. If it's America, Second Amendment, baby. Anyway, if someone from your past has been on your mind a lot, if you were asking about someone from your past, then this is your reading, and hello. If you weren't asking about someone from your past, but now that you've thought about it and you have it on your mind and you're kind of curious, this is going to be very clear who this is. So, yeah. If you want to hear about someone else first, feel free if you were asking about someone else, but definitely this is coming through for a reason. This is someone from your past, and this is someone that hurt you, like, period. This is someone who's reflecting a lot. So if you've been thinking about this person out of nowhere, they've been popping up in your dreams, maybe they've reached out to you recently, or they've been doing sheepish things like liking your pictures on social media, or just making their presence more known to you without directly reaching out to you. Because I guess this person could have reached out to you maybe in a really casual way. And I feel like if they have reached out to you, it's in a very innocent way. Like, asking you a random question just to test if you would even respond to them. But I feel like for a lot of you, this person hasn't even reached out to you yet or even considered that. I mean, that maybe they're considering it, because when I look at their energy and intentions, this person knows that they effed up. I really just want to say the F word, but I can't, because if I say it too much, then my corporate overlords will punish me. I could say as many F's as I want later on in the extended, but for now, I'm going to be frugal with my fricks. They effed up, and they are reflecting a lot on your time together, and I think that they are aware of how they hurt you in ways that they were not aware of in the past. The word pig-headed comes to mind. Pal 3, you and I could really sit down and get along. Like, this is the energy of someone who fumbled a bad bitch. And as I like to say on this channel, bad bitch is gender neutral. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're here, you're a bad bitch. Like, I put out that energy and I attract it, of course. This is someone who fumbled a good thing. They had it all and they lost it, and they're mad about it. well, I don't think they're mad about it. I think they're sad about it. They could be, if they're not mad at you, they could definitely be mad at themselves. But I think that there is a genuine level of ignorance here when it comes to how they hurt you, because I don't think they realized what they were doing at the time. Either they were too young, they could have been in the throes of like, you know, an addiction, or they could have been in a really stressful time in their life, or they could have just literally been at a different place in life where they didn't appreciate what they had in front of them. It's actually reminding me, I'm not comparing it to this situation at all, but I'm just thinking of the example. If you guys have seen the, well, at least right now while I upload it, the newest season of Before the 90 Days, 90 Day Fiance, oh my God, sidebar, if anyone else is watching that, is it, like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Wild season. But it reminds me of one of the people on it. They're a basketball player, and they had a partner, and the partner broke up with him because they only focused on basketball and they didn't appreciate her at the time, and they messed up and they weren't over the ex because of that. And so that example just reminded me of it. But I did just have to say, oh my God, I hadn't watched it in so long, and I was just like, I couldn't stop. I was like, this is levels of chaos that I just, wow. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. I will respond to them because I don't have anyone else to talk about it with. Anyway, sidebar over. They've been reflecting on their time with you and thinking about you a lot. In fact, for some of you, I feel like you're telling me, well, why would this person be thinking about me? They've moved on. And they could have. Or maybe they were moving on and they could have stepped away from that because they realized, well, they could have followed a similar pattern with someone else and realized, oh, they could have realized it's them. Hi, they're the problem. It's them. That they're the anti-hero here. They've been healing and learning, well, trying to heal. They're going through the healing process, and they're also reflecting on their time together. And there's a lot of regrets here. And I think that when it comes to this healing card, I think that their intentions, they have a desire or are considering trying to heal things with you. Now, that being said, we'll dive into this more deeply once I get the tarot deck out. How that healing occurs, I think, is heavily dependent on what went down between the two of you, how severe it was, where you are at. Like, you could be completely with someone else, moved on in life, or, you know, maybe you still have a place for your heart, for this person in your heart, but you felt like, you know, you can't open that door because they're the one that shut it in the first place. And this person, you know, they may feel like they don't deserve anything other than to get closure on this situation. Like, so the healing that could occur could be anything from just being able to get their truth off their chest and let you know that they're sorry, or let you know that they learned their lesson, or that they were wrong, or that they didn't see what was truly important and they're sorry. But it could go all the way up to, will you give me another chance? Can we try again? Is your light still on? Is that door still open? They've definitely grown, and it's interesting because this group seems to fit most the idea of, like, is it love, lust, or a lesson? I thought it was a cute tagline, but obviously, like, life isn't that neat and categorically designed. But it could be both love and a lesson, with maybe some lust mixed in, and it could be a lesson that turns into actual love, if that exists there for the both of you and it's something you both want out of your own free will. But also, it could very well be a lesson, and we'll have to go deeper into the tarot. But for some of you, this could be someone who's learned their lessons, but maybe who is learning these lessons, who is growing, but, you know, maybe they haven't integrated them. Maybe they're still, let me just say, knowing isn't being. So, like, they could be sorry and know that and want to do better, but then maybe they could do the same whole thing again. We're going to look at that in the tarot, so don't worry. But I do just want to say there's a spectrum and a range, and different examples I just listed could be true for you. So definitely trust your intuition here. Like I said, we'll validate that later in the tarot, but no matter what, for all of you, this person is reflecting a lot, realizing where they were wrong, and has a desire to make things right with you and to heal things with you. And that being said, you know, the potential for this connection, the producer plant is really important, because I feel like if you are seeing this reading, this person coming back into your life or showing up in your life either would have been completely unexpected, or you will only be expecting it because you've seen this reading. If they have recently come back into your life and you're like, what is going on? What do I do? Then you would probably agree with saying, like, I could not have anticipated this. It's kind of interesting you guys chose the angel, the Angelite angel, because I do feel like them being reintroduced to your life is outside of both of your control. Like, they will feel called to do it, and I do feel like it will be them. You're not the one that's reaching out to them, but there are reasons for reaching out, and your openness and willingness to even receive anything from them is heavily dependent on your situation, who they are, what went down, etc. But it definitely seems like there's unfinished business, whether it's closure, a fresh start, forgiveness, or just letting you know that they realized that they were wrong, so that you don't have to move forward in life thinking that they thought they were fully justified in doing whatever bullshit they were on. As the potential of this connection right now is to receive an apology. And I feel like that's the biggest thing, is like, this person, if they come back into your world and they don't say that they're sorry, if they don't even have the strength to do that, I mean, you can give them the middle finger, the back of your hand, or give them the hand, give them none of your time, because that's peak, like, someone just trying to come around to do the same old shit. But I do feel like, more than anything, that would be very unlikely. And even then, if they had trouble, it'd probably be an ego thing, which they need to learn how to do that, because if you can't say that you're sorry, then with peace and love, you're kind of a weenie little bitch. That's weenie little bitch behavior. That's some weak ass shit, you know? I'm not afraid to say that. If you can't say you're sorry, weak bitch. And that's not a term of endearment. Bad bitches, weak bitch isn't. I knew I had to be careful with my F's, because I can't stop saying my B's. Anyway, yeah, they're thinking about you a lot and reflecting, and they didn't appreciate what they had. They didn't appreciate you. They didn't realize the value of what they had, and they also didn't realize how they recognized that they bled on you when you weren't the one that cut them. They recognized that they weren't fair to you. They recognized that they were wrong, and they recognized that they weren't seeing things clearly in the past. And so the potential here is to come back around, and this might shake up both of your worlds a little bit. Maybe this person, you know, had regrets and was remorseful, but didn't ever plan on apologizing. Maybe they feel the urge to out of nowhere. Maybe something happens and they have the opportunity and they go for it. What I can really see here is the potential for what happens between the two of you heavily depends on how much this person has actually learned their lessons, how much they've actually grown, and how much they actually apply those lessons, and where your heart is at and what you're willing to be open to. It feels like no matter what, though, there does seem to be an opportunity to close this chapter, or either in the story with them or in this chapter, so that a new one can be written, or you can put the book on the shelf and not have to go on in the future questioning and wondering, what if, what happened, why did this go down? Especially with the give and receive card. You have the power in this situation. And also, I will say, for a select few of you, this person could be coming around to be a lesson in terms of, have you learned, you know, in terms of, like, let's say, for example, maybe you made excuses for this person, or maybe you let this person violate your boundaries repeatedly in ways that weren't okay. You know, if they even have a whiff of doing the same thing, are you going to let that happen, or are you just going to say no and you know, do what you need to do? Like, there's a real opportunity here to see where you guys are at now, where your hearts are at now, Have you grown? Have you changed? Do you honor, for you especially, pile 3, do you honor yourself enough and see your value enough to only accept behavior you deserve and act on that, to not go back or revert to old patterns of behavior like people pleasing because you want something to work? Because I do see that this person wants to heal things with you, but it depends on whether they've actually learned their lessons and they're not just, I don't think they're putting on a front or anything like that, but we're creatures of habit and we can fall back into old patterns. And so there's a lot of opportunity here, and it heavily depends on your situation, but no matter what, it definitely seems like you're going to be getting answers, and there's potential for something completely, a brand new start with this person, or the ability to truly close out that chapter and release any maybe lingering pain or shame or negative feelings that you have around this situation, or negative feelings or negative beliefs that this situation made you feel about yourself, about your deservability, about your worth, and let that truly be in the past, and have the concrete evidence you need to know that, okay, it really wasn't me, it wasn't my fault, it was all them, and I can't take this anymore now as evidence that I'm defective or there is something wrong with me or I'm unworthy of something. So let's go ahead now and get into the tarot. And if you checked the intro, you will know that it is ASO's choice. So I'm gonna be asking the questions. I'm going to be the producer, at least in this situation. Hopefully giving you the best questions possible. But should you choose to move forward with this person or give this a second shot, you should definitely check out the extended. Or if you're unsure, you should definitely check out the extended, because we're gonna be looking at what's next between the two of you. And so that will be a really powerful opportunity to see, like, you know, how have you grown? Like, will it be the same old shit or will it be something new? And if it's something new, what could it be? Because we're going to be looking at, like, the greater theme around this cycle of time, what's next between the two of you. We're going to look at, like, what energies you're both going to be showing up in, and how the energy between the two of you is, like, what it's teaching both of you, how you're both meant to level up in love and connection. And we're also going to look at what the deeper purpose of this cycle is and where you're meant to end up should you go down this path. You guys are going to be a really interesting group because there's so much up in the air and so much potential here. But I think what I want to start with is how will you know that they're sincere? So what do they need to show you, or how do they need to come correctly in order to show you that there's sincerity here? So Spirit, how will pile 3 know that this person from their past is being sincere when they show up to apologize or speak their truth? We have the 5 of Wands. The reason you will know they are being sincere is because, number 1, they may have to go out on a limb in a way that would make them look stupid, and they would never do that in the past. And this makes sense to what I was saying about if they can't say they're sorry, if they can't say the words, I'm sorry, I was wrong, if they can't say those things, run, 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 run. Call me, I will show up. Like, well, if you're in the States, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you could use a Nerf gun in another place, and, like, or an airsoft. Okay, I don't condone violence. This is just, you know, this is protection, right? The way that you will know that they are sincere is they're going to be honest about themselves and their shortcomings in a way that is unlike anything they've ever shown you before. A level of humility and a level of honesty that they could not bring themselves to do in the past. Not only that, they may be making themselves vulnerable in a way that it's almost sure they would be rejected by you. Like, for example, if you're with someone else or they have no clue what would happen. But also, it's quite possible as well that you know they're coming to you honestly because, you know, maybe in the past, this is like, for some of you, this could be someone who instigated arguments out of nowhere and really enjoyed doing that. Like inciting chaos. Like this gives me the energy of someone who gets bored when things are peaceful and calm, and would create fights out of nowhere. And I could see how distressing that would be, especially if you are someone who does not like conflict. So I feel like one way you know they'll be coming correctly is like they're not trying to fight with you. They're not trying to rile you up. They're not trying to push your buttons. They're just being really earnest. But also, there's a level of honesty about themselves and about how they're, because I think the green flag words you're looking for are, I'm a work in progress, but I'm trying and getting better every day. But the key words here are work in progress, and I've grown a lot. I'm continuing to grow. And there's this level of transparency about where they're at, where their weaknesses still lie, where they do still need to grow. And there will be this awareness of, fives are a number of change. So it will be evident even in their energy that something has shifted, and the level of honesty that they'll have. And considering you know them already, like they're going to be saying things to you that you would have never dreamed in a million years they would be honest enough to say. Like if this person was allergic to the truth in the past, they're taking some sort of antihistamine that allows them to say it instead. Like they are, like you can tell they've grown. And how I will say you know that they are not sincere is if they can't do those things and they're coming into your life because you're no longer available. They could very well be trying to, this could be a very much like, I don't want to play with that toy, but now that I see someone else playing with that toy, that's my toy, I want to play with it now. It's like very childish BS. Like that is the sort of thing where I would be like, their ass can stay at daycare, you go live and be an adult. I'm such a bitch. I'm sorry. I'm defensive over you guys. Obviously, I would never condone violence or anything like that. And I don't condone violence, but I joke about it. So I hope it's obvious that I'm joking. And yeah, I'm sorry. I just had to get that out there because I started overthinking and it was getting in the way of me channeling. But they will show a version of themselves to you that is vulnerable in a way that they have never shown you before, and a way that proves their honesty. So now I want to ask, if there is an opportunity for you in terms to see, like, have you learned a lesson when it comes to this person? What is that lesson? What is being tested when this person comes around? What is being tested for pile 3 when this person comes around, please, Spirit? We have the 8 of Swords. Yeah, okay. This makes a lot of sense. So the 8 of Swords, I mean, it says here indecision. The 8 of Swords is all about being trapped in your mind and overthinking. The lesson here is, can you trust yourself? And can you choose love over fear? And can you honor whatever your truth is over wanting to please this person or be worried about hurting their feelings or disappointing them? So, for example, if this person shows back up and you really want to let them back in, but they haven't changed a lick in the past. They're saying things that seem better, but they're kind of skirting around it. They're not saying the words "I'm sorry" or "I was wrong" or "you were right" or "I messed up." Like and in this case, they'd probably say things like, "I miss you. I've been thinking about you a lot. I had a dream about you." Like very fuckboy, fuckgirl shit, if I'm being honest. See, that's why I was saving my F's, because that came out too authentically. And you may really, really want to take another ride on the carousel of effery, but know deep down that they truly haven't changed. They're just saying what you want to hear, especially if things in your life are going really well. And the test here for you is, do you have the ability to be honest with yourself and set those proper boundaries and not allow this person to have access to you. Now, on the other hand, this person is sincere. They're saying things like they're sorry and they're wrong, and you know, they want to do right by you. They want to heal things. And the part of you that is still hurt from the past is like, no, screw them. I don't want anything to do with them. They hurt you. I can't forgive them. But your heart is saying, but deep down, I really wish that things had turned out differently. And deep down, I do still miss them. And deep down, I do wish that we could have a fresh start and see what happens there. Can you honor your heart enough, or just be honest enough to say, listen, I'm kind of conflicted. Like, on one hand, I do miss you, and I do feel like, you know, there were things left unsaid and there was unfinished business. But on the other hand, you know, I am still hurt by what happened in the past. And like that, and that's the thing too, is like, it's not like you have to make a concrete, clear decision, but you have to be, the lesson is about, are you clear enough in your truth to be able to honor it and communicate it, whatever that is. And also recognize what is the truth that is loving towards you. Are you going to make a decision that in order to please them because you feel bad that they're sad? Or are you going to make a decision regardless of how they respond to it because you know it's what honors you? Even if that decision is, I don't know what I want to do, maybe I'm open to communicating and discussing and seeing where things go, but I have to be honest, like, I have unresolved, you know, negative emotions towards you and our situation, but I also, you know, have feelings still, and those are commingling. Like, I think part of the test is not even like, you know, what you do. It's about how in the time that has passed, how much have you learned about yourself? How much awareness do you have of what's going on inside of you? And how honest can you be with yourself and others about that? Because I think that sometimes it can be very clear what's going on inside you, and then you might just be like, oh, it's okay, it's not a big deal, it's fine. When in reality, it's not fine, you know? Because if you just said it was fine, but you have conflicting feelings, that's not the truth. That's you people pleasing. And so the test would be, you know, can you say the honest thing? I'm gotta be honest. I'm of two minds here, rather than, oh, it's fine, it's not a big deal, it's okay. Your pain matters. How people hurt you matters. And you don't have to just get over something or invalidate your truth because you don't want to hurt someone else. Hurt people, yeah. But you got hurt too, and your hurt matters too, and you don't have to, like, I think that's a test that's happening here too, is will you honor your pain and your process of healing it over what you think this person needs, or over fixing or making this person feel better? They're an adult. At least they should be if you're watching this reading, because if you're not an adult, this is not for you. They're an adult. They can handle discomfort. Part of being human is learning how to handle discomfort. And when you hurt others, you have to live with the discomfort of going through the process of resolving things, and also accepting the fact that you have caused hurt to others, and their process of healing that is not up to you, and not in your control. So it's really about, will you put yourself first? How much, and let's be clear, when it comes to a test, there's no punishment here. There's just the opportunity to close out cycles that you don't need to engage in anymore because you've outgrown the behavior and you know what's there. There's an opportunity, if both of you have grown, to really truly rewrite a new story, because you're in a place where you honor yourself and have your own back, and they're in a place where they're willing to be honest and be transparent and try and grow and not be allergic to the truth. But, you know, if you neglect your pain, your needs, what's going on within you, to make the other person feel happy because you're uncomfortable with them being uncomfortable, and they don't even really seem to be honest about, or they don't even really seem to be as transparent as they could be, and can't even bring themselves to say sorry, That's a sign of, hey, we've seen this story before. We know how it plays out. Let's do the thing we know we need to do deep down, even if it's uncomfortable and even if it's hard. Because that's the thing. The reason why you neglect your own, or why you did in the past neglect your own pain or your own feelings for others, is because you're already carrying your own and you're empathizing with theirs. So you've got 2 buckets of pain to carry. The lesson for you in all of that is what's not yours and not taking it on. And that's as simple as consciously recognizing that's theirs, that's their responsibility to deal with, it's not yours. That's another lesson. Do you take responsibility for things that were never yours to be responsible for in the first place? You're smart enough to know what is your responsibility and what isn't. And if you're taking responsibility for their pain or relieving their pain, there's some part of you that is still self-loathing enough to still take that on, and you need to ask yourself why. And ask yourself, is this leaving me vulnerable in a way that would validate that self-loathing, that would leave me vulnerable to more pain and continue that cycle? That's the answer. Whatever the hell I just said, all of that. Okay, so I'm trying to think what I want to ask now. I just want to see what Spirit wants you to know about all this. You know, there might be a lot going through your mind. Spirit, what does pile 3 need to know in general? You know, why was this reading brought to them? Are there any words of wisdom that could be really helpful for them at this time? King of Swords. That's really interesting. You know what to do. You know it. Don't be afraid that this person is going to come around and you are going to unknowingly re-enter a cycle with them. The truth will be clear to you, no matter what needs to happen here. It's up to you to honor it. And I guess one thing you do need to know is I bet you've been working on not being responsible for others' emotions and just having healthier emotional boundaries. You know, maybe you have experienced being enmeshed with other people, or, you know, just being so tuned in with others' emotions that they mix with your own, and then it creates chaos and confusion. I think you've been learning that. But if there's any healing work you've been wanting to do that you've been unaware of, where you can work on that is having the awareness of where your feeling stops and someone else starts, so that you can make sure that if you are taking on their emotions, release them. And that is a process of just, that's not mine, I let it go. It is that simple. You might still sense that those emotions are there. You might consciously know that it's uncomfortable to know that they have those emotions, but there's an energetic experience that occurs when you accept others' emotions and you feel it. And you will feel the difference when you say no, because you do have the power to say no to holding on to their emotions, but it's up to you to validate that. There might be a part of you that doesn't want to let go of other people's emotions, because then you're only left with your own. And if you don't have enough love for yourself yet to recognize that it's not your job nor your responsibility to hold on to other people's emotions, it could be really painful to let go or release them. It may even feel unsafe to do that, but it is. It is safe. It's just and the only way you will know that it's okay to do that is to start doing the uncomfortable thing, doing the hard thing, and learning that process. And anyone who's already been doing that, feel free to sound off in the comments and talk about the ways in which, you know, you have created healthier emotional boundaries for yourself, how not taking on other people's emotions has helped you in life, and what tools and tricks you've used. I will say for myself, like, I'm just as guilty of this. Like, even in my work here, like, there are times where I have to check myself, because I'm taking responsibility for the feelings and experiences of you guys in ways that were never my responsibility. You know, but I care and I want to help, and sometimes that's not, like, there are times where I will literally be up at night, like, unable to sleep, because I'm like, what if I didn't word that right? And, you know, and someone's going to take it this way, and it's going to be my fault. And it's like, no. Those are the things where it's like, you could never in a million years anticipate and consciously control. It's a control thing. That's what it comes down to, is You feel like you're responsible and for these things, and therefore therefore you're in control of it. And so you need to release yourself of the responsibility of other people's experiences. They are their own people, they are adults, and they make choices too. They are in charge of their own conscious experiences, and you are not responsible for them. You may be responsible for inflicting pain or harm on them if you consciously did it, but that's not the reading we're here to talk about. Maybe if roles were reversed, that would be a different conversation for the person you're asking about between them and I, but that's not where we're at. You've learned, like, the one thing that Spirit wants you to know is you've learned the lessons you've needed from this situation. And you will know, you will see it from a mile away, whether it's the same old shit they're bringing to your doorstep or whether they are really different and there is an opportunity to do things differently. And if there is, I feel you're being given permission to open your heart to that. And ultimately, it's your choice. And that's what's most important. But I think there's also some guidance here to not make a decision when you're feeling especially emotionally intense. Like, if you need time and space to process, tell them that. You have every right to take the time that you need to process things and get your mind clear. So don't feel like you're being rushed or pressured to make a decision. And if they do rush and pressure you to make a decision, that's a red flag. And that's something to pay attention to, because that sounds like someone who wants you to make an impulsive decision in the thick of emotional intensity because you're not thinking clearly. And that's a problem. And that is something where I would not be happy to know that that was happening, because I care about you and I want the best for you. And I want you to want the best for you too. But we got one more question to ask, and I'm trying to think of what I want to ask. I want to ask, what is something that they realize they were wrong about or something that they regret? And hopefully this will be something that they validate or give detail to something they describe to you. So this person from Pile 3's past, Spirit, what do they have regrets about, or what have they realized was wrong in hindsight? Okay, so first of all, they could have been literally dishonest about, like this Three of Wands to me is screaming third-party energies in a way where maybe you guys were in a committed relationship and they were talking to other people. Maybe they would flirt with other people in front of you and make you feel insecure. Maybe they broke up with you for someone else. Or maybe they just were so focused on what they didn't have, they didn't recognize what was in front of them. I will say, you will know if there was someone else in the background. You will know if there was someone else in the picture. Because I feel like even if there was someone in the picture, it's not even that they were like engaging with them in that way, but it just seems like the opportunity was there and they didn't do enough to like show you that they were committed to you. Or they didn't show you a commitment. They were playing games with you and other people and, you know, being very opportunistic and not being genuine. It's like, it seems like they realized how opportunistic they were being, and also the fact that they wanted to have their cake and eat it too. And not only did they hurt you, but also that behavior didn't reflect, that behavior reflected a version of them that was really insecure, that wasn't emotionally open, that didn't feel good enough, and that wasn't mature enough or emotionally healthy enough to be in a committed relationship in the first place. And so if they were in a committed relationship with you, I would just say, like, if they did cheat on you or something, I would completely understand why you would never be open to that sort of thing again. And if you're not, you have every right to assert that as your truth and just accept that apology. But also it could just be that, you know, you guys had something really real and they weren't willing to commit to that, or maybe they kept you in a situationship type situation where they acted like they wanted something more serious with you. Maybe they really did want something more serious with you, but they also didn't want to let go of a playboy, playgirl lifestyle and still wanted to play the field and still wanted to mess around. It just seems like They were, and it may not have even been that. It could have just been that they were really selfish with their time and energy. You know, maybe they were really focused on their job and focused on what else is out there, and they didn't recognize what was at home or what was in front of them. It just seems like no matter what your situation was, they were either outright dishonest with you at worst, lied to you, cheated on you, or they were dishonest, they skirted the truth, they led you on or manipulated you or played you. But this could have also been they didn't pay attention to you, they neglected you emotionally in some way, they turned their back on you, they took you for granted. Whatever that was, they know they messed up. And I would say, like, it really heavily depends on your situation, but I think they would say the grass is not greener on the other side. And they also realize that they did need to go out into the world to realize what was truly important and who was truly valuable in their life. And I think one thing that they realized is that they had to eat a lot of shit in order to realize what was gold, what was valuable, what was precious, what was real. And I think that one thing they realized is that you were real, you were earnest with them, and I would be willing to bet as well, they probably didn't even believe that you were sincere with them or committed to them or as genuine as you really were, because this person wasn't a genuine person in the past. And so it's the thing where, like, you know how people who cheat always accuse other people of cheating? It's because they're doing it, and so they assume that other people do that as well. It's the same thing where, you know, people that are not very nice cannot believe that other people would do something out of the kindness of their heart. It's because they wouldn't. It's because they'd be opportunistic about it, where they assume ill intent where there is none. They project that onto other people because that's how they are, and they can't fathom that other people are different. And I think they realized that they projected a lot onto you, and they also just weren't fair to you. They were always looking for something better, looking for something brighter, and they had the best right in front of them and they didn't see it, and they will always regret that. No matter what happens between the two of you, whether you give them the opportunity to heal things or move forward or not, like I would say for a lot of you, you will probably be the one that got away for them, or if you choose to close that door and close out this cycle. And I think that will be a lesson for them, a lifelong lesson of don't take for granted what's right in front of you, and don't bleed on people who didn't hurt you. And I think the thing is too, is however they treated you, they were replaying a pattern of how someone treated them. And I would be willing to bet that the same openness and earnestness that you treated them with, they had to that past person in the beginning. And that was, and I think that's the thing that they kick themselves for, because they realize now, oh, pile 3 was me when I got hurt by so-and-so, and then I became so-and-so and hurt them the same way so-and-so hurt me. I literally just took on the same dynamic. And I feel like that is something that sickens them. And I feel like if they've truly learned and grown, like, they couldn't live with themselves if they didn't at least let you know how much they messed up and how sorry they are. But like I said, if they are in that subsection of people who hasn't truly grown and hasn't truly changed, then they're realizing that there may be an opportunity to come stir up some drama in your life, or see it if your door's still open. See if you are ready to go around on the carousel of BS once more. And I would say, pile 3 ain't even at the carnival. Sorry, bitch. They're like doing cool things. But yeah, you won't regret honoring yourself no matter what you do choose to do. You will be, like, trust your heart, because you'll know whether, and like, I think the biggest thing is too, is like, your heart, when it's ready to let go of something or someone, there's no hesitation. There's no forcing it. It's just natural. And, you know, and there may be, and for some of you, it may be that your heart doesn't want to let go, but it's clear as day that you would just be in for more pain if they haven't changed, if they haven't shown up, if they haven't done things differently. And in that case, I would definitely say, like, give yourself the grace of giving them an opportunity to give you closure. But if they show up and they're not apologizing, they're no different than how they were in the past, and that is your closure. That is, they are still on the playground and you're out here doing cool and amazing things, being an adult, having mature opportunities with people that will actually, give you what you deserve, and that is what you deserve. So I hope that answered everything, because I feel like that's pretty clear, but per usual, when I do these readings, I have no clue what I'm saying in the meantime. And sometimes I do come to horror where I'm like, oh, crap, I'm talking about the Second Amendment in somewhat threatening ways. And I didn't clarify that I'm joking and totally would never do that and do not condone violence, because that's the thing. I do not condone violence. Violence is terrible, but there's also nothing wrong with staying strapped and reminding someone that you have the right to protect yourself, because you do. Okay, well, at least a nice 50 states America. Outside of that, I don't know, sorry. I mean, but you might be like, no, trust me, I'm glad I'm not here. And I would be like, that is absolutely fair. So fair. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead now and finish off with some guidance for you before we go into the extended, which I will say, if you are considering giving this person a second chance, you should definitely check out. You don't have to, of course, just grateful you're here, but or if you're uncertain, because that could really help you get the answers you need. But Spirit, what guidance do you want to leave pile 3 with? What do they need to know? Look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. So what's really cool is this could be related to this person, but I feel like this is God's love for you. God, Spirit, the universe. It loves you so much, and it will never stop trying to prove to you how much you deserve to experience that love reflected back to you in the 3rd dimension. And if your heart will know, and your mind will know that things are different and there is a genuine opportunity to potentially experience that with this person, you have full permission to explore that, as long as you're open to it and it feels right for you and you're consenting to it. But at the same time, if you know that this is coming back around and it's not changing and it's just like a repeating cycle, know that this is just a reminder from the universe. Not that you deserve this sort of energy in your life, but a reminder of what you don't deserve, and a reminder of the fact that the universe will never stop conspiring to bring you closer to the reality that you are so lovable. You deserve the world. You deserve those that are going to reflect that love back. And for some of you as well, this could be related to like a parent specifically, or just someone that really, really loves you and cares about you. They could have passed on already, and just wanting you to know they love you and that they're protecting you and that they care about you. And they could have even been instrumental in getting this person to really see how they messed up, because at the very least, whatever is meant to happen here, you deserve closure, and to know that you don't deserve for even a second to carry pain around feeling like anything was your fault, or that you deserved something, or that you weren't worthy of the genuine love and kindness that you deserve. What else, Spirit? Wait, don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. So number 1, you might want to reach out to them if you really feel called to. I guess do it. But I do feel like Spirit is kind of saying, like, the universe will set it up, this person will come to you, but also this is further telling me that you're really being called to not rush things, and also you're really being called to not make an impulsive decision here. And that may mean like having multiple conversations with this person, maybe meeting up with them a couple times and just kind of seeing where the conversation leads, or seeing or having a couple conversations with them in general and seeing, are they patient? Are they willing to let you have as much time and space you need to process? Because if they don't honor your, like, the thing is that they're coming into this situation with an imbalance. You have all the power here. Do not give your power away out of feeling guilty or wanting to make them happy or wanting to release the discomfort of knowing that they're sad or they're uncomfortable or that you honoring your boundaries could hurt them. They'll be fine. Okay? I promise. You're not responsible for how they process that. And, you know, the consequences of their actions are their journey. You're not responsible for that. Don't take that on. And if you're being pressured to make a decision or being rushed, that is all the evidence itself that this person has not grown and changed as much as they think they have. Okay, one more, Spirit. Anything else you want pile 3 to know? If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul. And like I'm saying as well, I don't entirely agree with this card because I do think there's a clear, like your heart and mind are working together in a way where you'll have clarity. But emotionally speaking, there may still be a desire, like a yearning or a missing of what existed in the past, even if you know it's not good for you. So in that situation, I would say don't listen to your heart, listen to your mind. But if your mind is saying, I shouldn't let them in, I shouldn't, you know, forgive them because I might look stupid or, you know, I might look weak, but your heart is really saying, it seems like they've changed. I still have a light on for them. I still want to see where it happens. Honor that. And on the back of the deck, we have the past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. And so that's the thing. You will know that there something new can happen here because they will show up in a new way, and you will consciously recognize that you are a new person. You're not who you were when all of this went down. You're new and they're new, and there's the opportunity to create something new. But if they haven't changed a lick and you have grown but are feeling tempted to fall back into a new cycle, know that that path has nothing for you than what you've had before. And you deserve to keep walking towards your true north and what you truly do deserve. So pile 3, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the extended now, where we're going to see what is next for you guys. I'm rooting for this person if they are really genuine. If they are not genuine, I will be the first in line to protect you. Hopefully this reading was the first line of defense to protect you, because I can't be a million places at once, and this world is littered with people on their bullshit. But that's where I'm going to leave this reading. So thank you guys so much for watching. And thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel. So thank you to everyone who does. If you would like to support me in other ways, you can check out the extended. You can like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, you can check out my social media, you can check out my candles. Be sure to use code September 10% off. All candles on Angelic Magic 888 site. Yeah, you can check out other videos. Share me with your friends if you want to. But that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys love yourselves just as much as I do, and the universe does. So I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 4. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Snoopy, Obsidian Snoopy, and the 4th set of Oracle cards, this is going to be your reading on what the potential of the connection is between you and the person you're asking about. I don't know what happened. I just blinked and my nails changed. It was crazy. I don't know. It was just magic. Anyway, welcome to your reading. Thank you for being here. If you'd like full breakdown on the reading, there is one in the intro, but we're going to go ahead and start by looking at what the energies and intentions of the person you are asking about are. So let's start with that. For that, we have transformation. We have the 7 of Pentacles for the right reasons. We have fear and good fortune. And then these 4 cards represent the potential that the connection has at this time. So to start, we have true love. We have the 3 of Pentacles, group date. We have put away the computer. Working less and having more fun will help strengthen your relationship. And codependency. Okay, so I really like this energy. I'm not gonna lie. I can definitely see with your person, they feel very blessed to know you. They feel blessed to have you in their life, and they are really not in any rush when it comes to you. In fact, I feel like they are in a slow and steady wins the race mindset. And that might be frustrating for some of you that want things to happen now, but I think that that's kind of an important thing to recognize. Like, you don't need to have them happen right now at this very second in order to know that they will happen. I definitely feel like you could have known this person for quite some time. Maybe you guys have evolved a lot together, or maybe they've been from your past and you guys have reconnected and they're much different. Or it could just be that this person seems like a really solid person, and you and they kind of both know that your lives could transform should you choose to come together. I can definitely see that this person is a bit afraid of how they might change or how their life might change in terms of coming together with you. I think they see something very long lasting with you, and I think they see positive growth and change, but I think that's also very scary to them in the sense that, you know, it's just new, it's the unknown, it's the unfamiliar, and how common and normal is that? Like, it is so, even when something is good, like, we can still be afraid of the change that comes, or even be resistant to that change, even if we know that it's what we want or what we are looking for. The fact that we have good fortune here, I definitely think that this person feels like not only is your connection something that is something that's very valuable to them, but they see like your connection together being very I'm hearing the words profitable. Like, you guys could make a lot of money together, but I don't see it as just like money. I see it as just being lucky to know you, fortunate to have you in one another's lives, and like there's just this prosperous energy between the two of you. I feel like this person sees you as having very genuine intentions towards them, and maybe that's because there's been a lot of time that's passed between the two of you. I feel like for some reason, I feel like some of you are frustrated at me, or are just frustrated in general. Take a breath. I feel like, if anything, just pay attention to your ego wanting things to happen right now, because they're unfolding in the perfect time, in the perfect way. And I feel like for some of you, you might be gripping a little bit too tightly onto what you want to happen or how you want things to unfold, or feeling like, I've already waited so long. And it's like, yeah, well, part of being in the third dimension is learning about the fact that things do not move at the speed of light, they move at the speed of earth, and all in good time, okay? It's okay. I know it might be frustrating, you're allowed to be frustrated, but anything that I'm about to tell you is not a no. It's not right now, but it's coming. And if that is frustrating to you, take that up with your guides, not me. I'm not in charge of the timing of your life. You are, your person is, and greater universal forces that I am not in control of are. But I feel like you're not actually angry. You're just like, I think what it is fear. Aha! It's fear. It's fear that it's actually not going to come to fruition. It's fear that, what if your intuition is actually wrong? What if things don't unfold? What if you're just being led on? You need to trust the energy that you felt. And I feel like for a lot of you, it's like, you've come this far. Are you really going to continue to doubt yourself now? That's silly. That's child's play. You can trust yourself. You can trust your intuition. And I think that you can trust this person if they are the person whose energy I'm reading. Now, if you're like, this person is inconsistent, this person tells me things that aren't true, this person lies to me, this person, tells me things, like, this is not your person. Like, this is not that person. I would check out pile 3. That might have the answers for you. But Don't apply the energy to a person it doesn't fit for, because you will know whether this person is truly them or not. Because the way that you will know this person is the person you're asking about is they've brought nothing but good fortune to you. Whether it's through the things they've taught you, like for example, maybe you've been through some shit with this person, maybe you've had some highs and lows with them, but the lessons you've learned and the person you've become has not only brought you more fortune, but you wouldn't change a thing. Like, sure, maybe you wouldn't choose all the things that unfolded and how they happened, but you don't look at them now and say that you're upset that they happened or wish they didn't happen. You will know this reading is for you if you can look at this person with a sense of gratitude and say, like, what no matter what has unfolded, and say, you've made me a better person, and I've never been more sure that you are someone I want in my life, or you're someone I want to spend my life with. And that's vice versa. If this is someone newer in your life, there's something just very positive and beneficial about this energy where you can really see a future with them, and you can tell that their intentions are genuine and they've been nothing but gentle and patient and kind with you. And sure, maybe they're a little bit withheld, but it's not because they are lying to you or anything like that. It's because they're afraid and they're nervous about what's to come, because it's real, it's true. I mean, we have 2 different Pentacles cards here. Like, this is solid, substantial stuff we're talking about. And another way that you will know this person is they've been single for a really long time, and they will probably tell you that they've been working on themselves, or that they haven't wanted to be in a relationship until they felt like they were ready for it, or the right person came along. Like, this is someone with genuine intentions. This is someone who cares, and this is someone who is not going to waste their time and energy messing around or playing games. And if they were that type of person in the past, they've grown and changed, and you've seen direct evidence of that. They are not that person anymore. This is a mature person. So I don't want to hear any shit in the comments from someone being like, this person doesn't listen to me, this person lies to me. Like, you're wrong. No, you picked the wrong reading, and now you are getting mad at me for that. With peace and love. Like, just pick a different group. You're trying to force an energy that does not match. I'm getting sassy today. I kind of love that for me. Can you tell? Can you tell I've been doing this for a hot minute, and I get tired of being verbally whipped by those who don't listen to me, or don't listen to what I'm talking about, and then get mad when it doesn't make sense for them. And let me be clear, you deserve more than someone who plays games with you. You deserve more than someone who lies to you. You shouldn't accept that sort of behavior. So if this energy sounds like someone you do want in your life, and it doesn't apply to someone who doesn't change, doesn't grow, want more for yourself. Reject that person. Say no to that bullshit. Stop it. You deserve someone who has genuine intentions and brings you good things in your life. Clearly, if you pick this group, there's the potential for that. And if the person that you're asking about is unwilling to do that and unwilling to change, ask yourself why you're willing to accept less. Because what I can see here is that this is either someone who's always had genuine intentions towards you, or someone who has grown and changed a lot. And likely because of your connection together, is probably being one catalyst. To them being open to love in a way that they never have before. I'm feisty today. I like it. I will not apologize. I'm not putting up with shit. That is for sure. And this person isn't either. And I would say that you'll know this reading is for you is if you don't either. Because if what I just said doesn't apply to you, you're probably like, damn, so go off. Good for you for speaking up for yourself. And I would be like, thank you. Thank you, pile 4. Thank you. And I bet this person would probably say thank you, pile 4, as well. In one way or another, you are someone that they are excited to get to know further, someone they're blessed and grateful to have known already. They are feeling very patient about where this connection is heading, because they know that where it's headed is very beautiful. However, I do see that there is this element of like, we have all the time in the world that may be a little bit like imbalanced, where they are telling themselves that because they are afraid of taking that next step, when in reality, they're just delaying the inevitability of all the goodness that is to come from what you two share together. I do feel like work plays a big role in your connection, whether both of you are just very career oriented individuals, whether you work together, or whether work is something that takes you apart from one another, or something that is an inhibitor from you coming together. Like, for example, maybe this person feels like they need to be at a certain place in their job before they can, or be making a certain amount of money before they are able to surrender to this connection or something like that. But I feel like the only reason why they would be doing that is because they would be feeling like it's wrong for them to move forward if they don't have what they think they need to, which could very well change. Like, I don't think that that's the truth. I think that that's something that they're realizing. This is a type of connection where time reveals the truth. And, if you've had highs and lows with them, you've had this awareness of like, we've been through XYZ, and the truth is like, we love each other. The truth is that you make me a better person. The truth is that you make me be the person that I see myself being in the future. I see our lives expanding. This is the type of person you build an empire with. And I can't help but notice, like, you have the 7 of Pentacles in terms of their intentions and energy, and the 3 of Pentacles in terms of potential for the connection. And 7 plus 3 is 10. And the 10 of Pentacles is all about family, legacy, long-lasting connection, and abundance. And I definitely see that being something that you guys could definitely have in the future and lead up to. I do feel like, though, when it comes to the potential of the connection, there is a potential for codependency here. But that's not something that is a detrimental thing. It's just something that you guys may face as you come together and may have to work through. But it's quite possible that this codependency is not between each other, but maybe in your lives in other ways. Like, maybe you guys are codependent on other people in your life that take you away from being able to have a romantic relationship with someone. Maybe you are dependent on work in a way where you feel like you're tied to your job in a way that doesn't allow you to be connected to one another. However this applies, pay attention to it. Maybe you're codependent on your phone. Maybe you're codependent on... There's so many ways that this could apply, and I think you'll know how it applies to you. And I think also it may be as well, like, you may have to look at, like, okay, yeah, like, my person is, or this person is really other people really depend on this person in ways that are codependent, and they haven't seen that yet, and it's not my job to show them that. It's their job to see it and their job to resolve it. I can't change that. So for the time being, I just have to love them as they are and hope they see the truth and just kind of mind my business. That energy is there, but I also think that love is a powerful force that shows the truth of all things. We just have to be patient and let that unfold as it will. I do think that there's opportunity for more genuine connection and more connection more frequently as you guys balance your priorities a little bit more. I do think maybe both of you are a bit too focused on work or a bit too focused on practical concerns that you may not even be realizing, like, the goals that you have. Like, this relationship and this connection actually aligns with those goals, and actually a lot more closely than you think. And with the 3 of Pentacles being here, I feel like both of you are ready to kind of start making your relationship more public, or going out into the world together. I definitely feel like you guys work really well together, and I think any codependent elements between the two of you guys are intelligent enough and honest enough to work through them and not stay stuck in them, even if you fall into them. Like, there's potential for toxic dynamics to arise in any relationship. And I think that neither of you would be like, both of you love each other enough to grow and evolve from those and not get stuck in them, and to keep a balance here. I definitely feel like for your person, there may be fears of falling into codependent dynamics with you that maybe they had in past relationships, and that's a reason why they've been single for so long. But I think there's also this awareness that you're different, this is different, we can be different. I think for them especially, there's just this need to focus a bit less on work and having more fun together. Like, I think you guys maybe have a hard time justifying things that are just for you. Like, it might be a lot easier to put others' needs and others' desires before your own. And I think that's actually like a sweet but also really revealing thing about your connection and your relationship, is that your desires for one another and to have this connection are uniquely yours. Like, they are true to you. Like, you desire this, they desire this. And while it might be easy to put other people's desires before yours, that's why choosing, like, that's part of what makes your connection so special, is like choosing each other is choosing yourselves. And it is very loving to surrender into this connection. It's very easy. I definitely think that there's just a lot of potential for you to grow together, to work together as a team, and also to build a life that you both are really proud of in the third dimension. Like, this is true partnership energy. And like I said, like, a codependent dynamic could arise, but actually I think if you guys are not together, there could be codependent dynamics outside of this connection that are making it take longer for you to come together in the way that it definitely seems like you guys will be in the future. Like, no matter what, there's true love here. Whether or not, no matter how this unfolds, like, it's heavily dependent on your unique situations and the energy that exists between the two of you. One of the things that I did here was tech addiction. So this may not be about work, but maybe, a lot of energy that goes into connecting with your phone or your devices, or waiting for the other person to text instead of just sending a text. There are ways that you could be strengthening your relationship right now, even if it's just as simple as paying attention to the relationship you have with yourself and saying, like, am I neglecting myself in favor of my phone? Am I avoiding myself in favor of delving deep into work? I definitely think that your person, what they're working on right now is realizing that your connection does not have to be a future thing. It can exist right now, and that they can be present for it right now. And the only reason why they're projecting it into the future is because they think they're doing the right thing. Whether they admit it or not, deep down there is a little bit of fear of their life changing and how serious and substantial that could be. But they know also that there's a lot of fortune to be had, and like, you're a positive influence in their life. You're a positive person in their life, and they genuinely love and appreciate you. Definitely some of you may need to do some breath work or something like that. Like, or just loosen your grip a little bit, because like, everything is fine. Everything is okay. You can relax. You don't need to be hyper vigilant about this. And I'm not saying that in a way to invalidate you or make you feel silly about feeling that way. It could very well be a trauma response or something that you need to work through on your own, but pay attention to it, because it doesn't need to be something that affects your life. And the only reason it's surfacing is because it's making you aware of what within you needs your love, attention, and care. I definitely think as well, if this is long distance or something like that, this is not meant to be a connection that stays through the phone. So don't get too attached to that idea. And I know that sounds silly. Like, of course, even if it's long distance, it's like, of course you want to come together, but you can almost get attached to the idea or feel safer or feel like the connection is safer if you're far away. Being together in person is the true potential of this connection and where it is meant to blossom and bloom. So I think that so long as the connection stays only online or stays like at a distance from one another, it's going to be harder for both of you to see just how much you can expand and grow. Like, I feel like you guys work better together than apart, and you guys work really well together. And this person sees that. I feel like they are afraid of how their life will change, but they're only seeing half the picture when they think about that. When they look at the full picture, they're aware of the fact that their life will change with you in it, but for really good ways, and they will only be more fortunate. And actually, you are like a key to freedom for them, things that they've been chained to, and vice versa. If you are aware of areas where they are codependent in their life that maybe they aren't aware of, it's not your job to tell them that. I would be wary about bringing those things to someone else's attention, because that might backfire on you. But instead, pay attention to where you might be codependent in your life. You know, where do you rely on others to bring you a sense of validation that you could have for yourself, for example? Where do you, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Like, of course you should have friends hype you up, but where could you just be doing more for yourself that you're not? You know, are you attached to your phone? Do you use your phone as a form of stimulation when you could use other things in your environment for that? That's what she said. You know, are there ways that you could be having more fun? Because this connection is fun. This connection is meant to show you just some of the best of what life has to offer. And I feel like both of you could be really hard on yourselves and have this idea that you're not supposed to be having fun. You're supposed to be working. You're supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be doing that. And I think it's reflecting how you're putting certain needs or certain ideas of what you think you should be doing over your genuine needs. Like, fun is a human need. And like, yes, that doesn't mean you stop working and like never pay taxes. Like, if you're in the US, the IRS is going to come after your ass. Like, of course you still need to be doing that, but you need to balance it with fun. You need to balance it with joyful things. And I think that you can't control how much your person does that, but you can control how much you do that. And even in just you doing that, I feel like it's a positive influence on your person. And I feel like there is potential for true love here if it does not already exist yet. And there's the potential for something really solid and really beautiful that you guys build together. Like I said, there is potential for codependency here, but that is something that you guys can work through and grow together with. And there's the potential for you guys to already be having a lot more fun together. Obviously, you can't control how your person goes about that, but at the very least, you don't have to let them stop you from having fun. Does that make sense? And showing them that fun is a necessity too. And maybe you need to start by showing that to yourself. So I think it's tarot time now. So we're going to go ahead and start shuffling your cards. But I did quickly want to mention that if you are interested, there will be an extended for this reading where we're going to be looking at what is next for the both of you and what this next cycle is about. They've been very, very long, so you are getting the most bang for your buck for sure. We're looking at things like what the theme of your next, what the theme of like the next cycle between the two of you is, how you're going to be showing up, how they're going to be showing up. How are you leveling up in love? How are they leveling up in love? Where are you ending up? Well, where are you ending up together? What is the purpose of this time? It's been quite informative and very like very powerful. So if you are interested and you're focused on time, I think that would definitely be something beneficial to check out, which will be linked down below. But if not, no worries. Just grateful you are here. And if you want to support me and show appreciation for my channel, just liking the video, letting the ads play, commenting down below, subscribing, all of that is super helpful. Thank you to everyone who does that. And welcome to all those that may have been on TikTok that are on that are coming to other platforms now. I'm sorry about your situation, but I'm happy to have you here and proud of you for sticking through a longer reading. Because even just shorts, reels, TikToks, you know, all of that stuff kind of changes the wiring of your brain. So proud of you for sticking through a video that's longer than 3 minutes. You're a badass. Okay. So I'm trying to think about what I want to start by asking. I want to see if there's any obstacles within your control that if you address them could bring you closer together. So what could pile 4 do to bring them closer together with this person they're asking about? Are there any obstacles within their control that they could Actually, I just realized I have to pee so badly. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, I want to start. I decided while I was on the John to ask what you can do to speed things up, since timing is such a factor here, and slash what you can do to bring you and this person closer together. So what can pile 4 do, Spirit, to speed things up and bring themselves closer to the person they asked about? Can you clarify the Ace of Swords? Okay. I'm just making sure there's no boobs. I might have to look at what the book says for this, because there might be guidance that I'm not seeing. But I think, honestly, believing in the inevitability of the unfolding of this situation and looking at things from a romantic lens, I also think just clear-cut communication and just being like, hey, I'm disappointed with how little we've hung out, or like, hey, I really want to hang out more, or just honestly, like, you might hold back from communicating with this person out of fear of being annoying or stuff like that. And I think that the universe is really asking you to stop. Like, even the idea that you're annoying or that your presence annoys them is a direct reflection of how you still feel unsafe to just be yourself and connect with them. And that's an insecurity within you that I think you're really being encouraged to face by just not being afraid to quote unquote be annoying with them and be playful and fun and flirty. You know, the Page of Cups as well can be guidance for you to instigate more opportunities for closeness, like inviting them out more often. Even if they say, no, I have to work, no, I have to do this, don't stop doing it. And don't stop because you're frustrated that they didn't come around this time. Maybe the next time will be the time that they're able to. I think that there's this encouragement of not giving up, and also just not taking no's personally, because no's are not a rejection of you. No's could be a literally like, I'm not available, or a, I don't feel like I'm ready yet, or like, I don't feel like I'm ready because I have to do XYZ. I definitely think that they always want to see you. And there's just always opportunities to rise above the situation. Like, if there are obstacles outside of your control, not using them as signs that you're doing something wrong or signs that something isn't meant to happen, but just rather a reflection of the closeness you will have, and just a reminder to not give up. Like, I'm thinking of the example of, like, you know, that meme of, you know, creatures and people looking out the window being, and the caption being like, when will my husband return from war? Like, recognizing the fact that it's, number one, really cool that you can even connect with them through the phone and communicate with them, and number two, know that, like, the longer you spend apart, like, it's just gonna make connection with each other even sweeter. But I feel like you're encouraged to, well, in this also, to just have more fun and be playful, whether they're able to show up or not. You know, don't take when they're unavailable too personally, because it has literally nothing to do with you. If it were up to them, they would be here yesterday. They just maybe haven't realized that they have more control than they think, and it requires maybe a little shift in consciousness or a shift in awareness about what they can do. But let's go ahead and, this is the Enchanted Love Tarot. Let's look at what they suggest. You have the right idea. So anything you've already been thinking of to forge closeness, pay attention to that. Let it focus you and organize your life accordingly, and you will manifest the exact kind of relationship you want. As long as you don't get obsessive, which that is something that I think you guys, that some of you with peace and love have been a little bit. And that has made it hard for you to take things lightly. And that was probably the deep breathing where I was like, and maybe one of the codependent things is assurance that everything is working out. Maybe you need to release that and know that it will. Ask the important questions of everyone, especially yourself. Let long-term goals and major principles enable you to make your relationships all they can be. You will have knowledge and the wisdom and willpower to apply it. Read a great self-help book and a brilliant new idea will reveal itself. Your unique life purpose may even become crystal clear. And then let's see what the Page of Cups says. The Princess of Shells is upright is drying her hair after a dip in the ocean. The symbol of humanity's collective unconscious. A male seahorse, the only species where the male gestates their young, has come to tell her the surprising news he is pregnant. The princess bursts into tears, feeling loving pride and anticipation, and the anticipation of future pain and suffering. She confides in her friend that she too longs to find a gentle, child-loving partner with whom to create a family. You will encounter or find yourself acting like a young, sensitive, and empathetic woman whose heart rules her head. Being an incurable romantic in love with love, and always seeking a romantic encounter will benefit you now. So that's exactly what I said. Don't give up. Keep creating opportunities and making invitations and setting things up to make things happen. You may feel inexperienced and not ready for the responsibilities that come with a serious relationship, but it is time to try. And I think that is something as well, where you just even having faith in yourself will help this person have faith too. Communicate tender feelings, hunches, and dreams. Read or write romantic stories or poems. You are, quote, pregnant with romantic ideas and idealized fantasies and fertile in every way. Be careful if you don't want to have a child. Psychic intuitions, yours and maybe that of an intuitive counselor. I wonder who that could be. Will enable you to navigate uncharted waters. This intuitive ability is always available to help you sort relationship problems, yours and your friends'. We will continuously learn the lessons of love. You may be presently surprised. So that is an encouragement not to give up. But this is a balance of head and heart, right? Keeping your determination, but also, if you really want connection and closeness with this person and they're unavailable in an immediate moment, maybe checking out a reading might be helpful, unless you feel very codependent on them and feel like you need them in order to know that you're headed in the right direction. Then maybe instead of focusing on if it will happen, be focused on the inevitability of it and build more of what you see happening in your future. I do want to see what is outside of your control when it comes to this situation, so that you don't hold on to it or feel like it's your fault or your problem. When it comes to this connection, Spirit, what's outside of Pile 4's control that they need to surrender or just recognize is not up to them? We have the Tower and the Page of Pentacles. So I feel like this is what's outside of your control is when things change for real. Like what's outside. Also, I think in life in general, I think that you are always trying to anticipate disaster or anticipate what's going to happen next, and you always can't. But I think one thing that you can control is your ability to navigate challenge. Obviously, people are very afraid of the Tower card, but I think for a lot of you, you've probably gone through some sort of Tower moment with this person, and you've come out the other side just fine. Like the love grown and different. Maybe it wasn't fine when you went through it, but you've come back around as more mature people. You've come back around learning more lessons in love, and you're far more aware of yourselves and aware of how to navigate challenges. If you're afraid of something happening in the future similar to what happened in the past, know that you can handle it, and know that even that won't take away from the fact that there is love here and that you can navigate it. But I honestly think as well, you may be projecting fear of something happening that you can't control, and just know that Tower moments only happen when the structure itself is not solid enough to withstand the storm. So know that with all of these pentacles here, with all this energy here, like it seems like it's solid enough to withstand any storms. Like the love here is very powerful and very solid. And if it doesn't withstand a storm, then maybe it's because you're being redirected to someone who is. But I don't think that that's the case. I mean, there's the potential for true love here. I think the only way that you would be taken away from this person in this situation is if they weren't able to give you that love you deserve and they actively rejected it, which I don't think they will. This is very solid. But also, I think that that profound change is to this connection is coming in the future. Whether it's the near future, I think for a lot of you it's the near future, but for others, maybe it's further down in the future. Trust in what you see and know you can't control the timing in which this unfolds, but trust that there's a wisdom to the timing of things. And as long as you're in alignment with your own timing and release the need to know how things unfold, or release the need to know when, because timing is a fluid thing. Like, the phrase divine timing oftentimes has nothing to do with like, oh, the divine put a date in the calendar and you just have to wait until then. It's something that's literally created through your actions or lack thereof, through your person's actions or lack thereof. And you can't control what your person does. That's where you have to surrender. Yeah, it might be annoying. Yeah, it might be frustrating. Yeah, you might wish that things might happen sooner, but you can't control how things unfold on their end. And it's an interplay of two different people's free will working together. It's not just about the universe granting this to you. It's not about being granted anything. It's about you recognizing you're worthy of it, but also recognizing there's more to your life than just this. If you're so focused on this that you can't focus on other areas of your life, that's where you may need to take a step back and realize, wow, I've kind of been codependent on the connection to give me everything that I need, and I've been so focused on it, I've neglected other areas of my life. I think there are certain things within your control that maybe you've been avoiding that the universe wants you to redirect your awareness to, because not only will focusing on those things help bring you back to where you need to be, but I think there's also this realization that nothing is out of place, you're not behind, you're exactly where you need to be, and everything will be okay. Now I want to see something that your person envisions when it comes to your future together. So what is something that the person that pile 4 is asking about envisions when it comes to their shared future with pile number 4, please? Interesting. So we have the Hanged Man here. And I think that this is meant to highlight really where they're at. And I'm going to ask really quickly, how is this meant to shift for them? Spirit, how is this meant to shift for them? Yeah. So right now, part of the reason why it feels like it's taking forever is because they believe that they are meant to be a different person before they enter this situation with you or take the next step with you. And really what's going to happen is they're meant to have an attitude shift. And this attitude shift is not going to come from them achieving something. It's going to come from them realizing that they are the source of their own difficulties, that their perspectives and the way that they look at things has been what's holding the both of you back, not a lack of resources or a lack of being the right person yet. Being the person that they need to be for you is not a matter of them growing and changing or earning something. It's a matter of them shifting their perspective to where they realize that they've always been worthy and they've always been ready. And so the universe is being very surprisingly mum about the future between the two of you. And I think that's partially because it's so important to keep you guys grounded in the present and focused on what's unfolding now. But also there's a lot of mental clarity that both of you are needing to move through. And for you, it's the clarity is about focusing on what you know to be true, keeping your mind pure and not letting fear corrupt it. And for your person, and even when you do let fear get the best of you, redirecting yourself and knowing that, like, it's not about, like, if you get knocked down, it doesn't mean you failed. You only fail if you stay down and believe that you were just meant to be there. You win by getting back up and knowing that all of that, it just gives you more grit and makes you stronger and just makes you more determined and more aware of the fact that nothing can sway you from what you've already been creating, what you've already been manifesting with this person, and the future you're going to have with them. And for your person, it's realizing that they don't need to let the stories of the past follow them into the future, that they are ready for something new, that they are ready for something different. And you could tell that to them 50 times. It doesn't matter. They're not going to hear it until they hear it from themselves, until they understand it. So I do feel like this person is going to have some sort of powerful experience where they realize it's not something they need to achieve that will bring you two together. It's an attitude shift that they need to have, because the idea of who they need to be, like, they have an idea of who they will be with you and who they're meant to be with you, and they believe that they're not that person. And so that's really what needs to shift. And that's what they think about, like, in terms of the future, is their life completely changing, their world being turned upside down in a beautiful way. But I think that they think they have to do it by sheer willpower and grit, and the universe has been trying already for a hot minute to get them to see differently. But until they see differently, it's going to be a bit of a plodding forward experience but after that, it's rapid movement and rapid change. So just know that like you won't be stuck here forever. But you would probably admit that your person is quite stubborn and they don't listen and they don't see things until they see them for themselves. So trust that the universe is doing their very best, but the universe can only do so much. They still have free will, they still have willpower, and the universe will never stop getting them to listen. And I think what's even more helpful is that you're not stopping in terms of the vision you see, the vision you want to have, and the future that you're both moving towards. Like, it really helps that you are staying aligned with that vision and not letting fear get in the way, because when you let fear get in the way, it enables them to do the same. So by you staying firm, it just makes it even harder for them to not be aware of the fact that a simple attitude shift is really all that is needed to get things moving to the next level. Okay, so with that being said, I just want to see what Spirit really wants you to know about this connection and this situation for your highest good at this time. Yeah, like I said, things will get moving a lot faster than you realize. I definitely think that there is some swift energy already even moving in. And the fact that we have two aces here, both related to masculine suits in the deck, taking action is definitely going to be very important. And if you're like, well, I can't take action towards them, ask yourself if you really can't, or if you're afraid of being rejected or being annoying. And then also recognize that this isn't just about this connection. What are you passionate about in your life that you've been neglecting? What can you do to increase your passion and just make you excited about life and excited about your life regardless of whether they're in it or not? Those are the things that are going to make your energy highly magnetic. That is the sort of, and look, the cards, the only word that it didn't cover up was fun. So ask yourself how you could already be making life more enjoyable that you've been mistakenly believing is only accessible to you once this person shows up. Because that's the same sort of shift that you need to have, that they need to have. It's in different, like the semantics are different, but you both need a perspective shift. And your perspective shift is about how you can already love and enjoy your life right now, irregardless of how they're showing up. And their shift is, I can have pile 4 in my life now in the ways I truly desire, irregardless of where I'm at in my work life. In my personal growth and development. Don't let your misconceptions be obstacles. Let your misconceptions be blindfolds you get to rip off and realize were just opportunities for you to see truth even more clearly and blossom even more fully. There's a lot of passion here, and I think one thing you do need to know is that I think you're going to be having more and more passionate experiences, and you can bring in more passion between you and them the more you express and share your own and do things in your life that make you feel passionate, that make you feel good, that make you feel excited. And on the back of the deck, we have the 9 of Wands with habits. So I think pay attention to your habits that make you not passionate about life, that drain you, that make you feel like shit, that don't make you feel excited to get out of bed, that don't make you excited to live life and be yourself. Like, increase passion in all areas of your life, and that will help this connection. That will help speed things up, and that will make life more fun and more interesting in the meantime as you both come together. You don't really need to overthink it. You just need to live and experience and embody the energies that you've already been wanting. Because like I feel like there are ways in which you can feel just as good with them without them and in different scenarios, and I think that's almost an energy that is bringing you closer together and helping them shift their perspective as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get some guidance now, but as I cut the deck, we have deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. And so definitely trust yourself. You have more awareness than you realize to make things happen. And I feel like a lot of times your biggest obstacle is just what your brain thinks is true, and that's not the case. If your thoughts around this connection aren't positive and supportive and trusting, ask yourself how you can shift it to be there, because like you've already done enough growth and healing necessary to know you're deserving of this, whether it's with this person, like especially if it's with this person, if you and this person have been through a lot or grown a lot as people, and if this is a newer person to you, you have to remember that you've done the work to embrace someone like this in your life, and you have to trust in the greater unfoldment of things and trust in yourself to know what is right for you, and to not feel like you're not a victim to the universe. You are a creator being, and you're creating what you want and showing the universe every day, you know, what you deserve and how you deserve to be loved. And there are ways that you could be showing yourself how you deserve to be loved right now from yourself that could just help further usher in this love from others, including this person. So Spirit, what other guidance do you have for pile 3? Ha! I told you. Wait, don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. But like I said, I think it's going to happen faster than you realize. You don't need to rush anything. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. And yep, when it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. So let go of the idea that like anything could be destroyed, or like anything could irrevocably change things in a way that would be devastating. Like, everything's gonna be okay. Like, I just wish I could sit down and like give you Reiki or something, or just help you breathe, because like I promise you it's gonna be okay. You're fine and you're doing great. You don't need to think so hard about this. Is there anything else you want pile number 4 to know, please? What else would you like pile number 4 to know? Power. You instinctively know what is right for you, and you have the power to walk away or say no at any time. Exactly. And that is also, and that's not about this person. That's about attitudes within you. That's about beliefs within yourself and ideas that your power is being taken from you, or that you don't have the ability to create joy and positivity in your life right now. And we also have look inside yourself. Examine what is causing you to feel this way. Whenever you feel tempted to blame both this whole situation on your person, or what they're not doing, that's an opportunity to look inside yourself and say, how am I giving my power away? How am I believing that my joy lies in how this person shows up? That's exactly where you want to look. And on the back of the deck, we have close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. And the thing is too, is I feel like you guys have already made so much positive progress. It's just that you want more and you're worried you're going to lose it. And it's just habitual and instinctual for you to fear that. And so that's where you really need to look inside yourself and ask why. You know, the twists and turns of life are outside of all of our control. But that doesn't mean that you'll be a victim to it. You're not a victim to it. You're a powerful person, and you know that. We both know that. And there's already been powerful change in this connection, and there will continue to be. Trust in it, and trust in the fact that if your meal isn't ready yet, you don't need to go in the kitchen and ask the chef where it is. You just need to enjoy who's at the table with you, and trust that when it's time, what you ordered will be delivered to you. I feel like I need to pull one more card. Spirit, is there anything else you want pile number 4 to know at this time, please? Freedom. Nothing is stopping you. The path is clear if you want to be. On the back of the deck, and on the back of the deck, we have soulmate. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this, and they will manifest physically. So you got nothing to worry about. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And that matter of when is none of your business, because whatever you can be doing now to make your life more enjoyable and just literally raise your energy and make you more magnetic, that is what you should be doing, because that is what's helping, and that's what's getting you closer to what you truly want. So pile 4. That's where I'm leaving this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. I'm going to move over to the extended now, where we're going to look at what's next between you and your person. So if you'd like to support me and you would like to know what the future holds for you and them, definitely feel free to check that out. But if you are leaving me here, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for leaving me a like or subscribing or commenting down below and letting me know how it resonates. That is all super helpful. If you'd like to support me and show appreciation in other ways, you can like this video. You can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, you can check out my social media, you can check out my Kindles. Be sure to use code ESO10 for 10% off. You can check out my other readings, or you can really do anything. that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this resonated and you enjoyed it and it brought you more clarity. But that is where I'm going to leave things. So I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video. I love you guys so much, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye.